All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode here at MonkeyinAround. I am your host, Adam Sankey, and I am super happy to have this guest that we have here. The way that we met, we'll get into later on in this podcast, but I am super grateful that I met her, and I consider us friends now, and we are
Yes.
business partners. Her name
Yeah.
is Audra Raulyns, and
Hey.
she has log cabin entertainment and hospitality. She is a representative for KWC Karaoke World Championship, and those are the things that I will be working her with in the up and coming future. So lots of amazing things in the works. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on this podcast, Audra.
Adam, you are a bundle of energy, a force to be reckoned with.
I
I
really
know,
appreciate
I
that.
know you've got a lot of great things ahead of you. I see your ambition, I see your drive, and yeah, and I see your heart, and that's really cool. Like that's cool that you can put all those things together, and that you've decided that that's priority.
And I think right from the get go, that's why me and you have vibed so well.
Yeah,
Even
it's
just from the second that we
okay,
started
tell them the
meeting.
story. You got to hear the story, right? You got to hear the story. We're here to tell stories for a little while. Tell them the story.
Okay, I'll start it, and
Because
then.
I'm going to interrupt.
Oh, of course, it's
Okay.
gonna be. We're both on the exact same energy level,
Go
so
ahead,
of
brother.
course.
It's your banana.
Okay, so with this monkeying around, we're here, Maple Monkey Media. I'm implementing instead of a talking stick, we're getting a talking banana. So I'm handing over the talking banana to myself right here, and this is the story of how me and Audra met. So it all started actually with my apparel line that I launched even before the media aspect
Right.
started. Yeah, so I had the idea that I wanted to get out there, and people have told me to go to Sunday markets, forum markets, flea markets, just to get out there and start meeting people and get your brand awareness out the door. So I'm looking around, and I found, oh well, I know that there's a Halifax market at the forum every Saturday and every Sunday. So I signed up for the Sunday forum market down there in Halifax. My mother came down and helped me. If you want to check out, I have a little bit of footage of that on my YouTube channel, Maple Monkey Media. And so we
She's a
went.
doll.
She is. She
She's
is.
a doll.
She's an absolute sweetheart. I love her so much, Mom. If you're listening to this,
I
love you
bet
muchly.
you know her Facebook's just going to
Oh,
climb. It's all because of you,
of
right? Like
course.
you may never be famous, but your mom, that girl's going to be famous.
I'll take it. Whatever I can do for her, I'll take it. Ever since I've been 8 years old, probably even lower than that, I've been telling her that I'm gonna build her dream house. So that is one of my
She's got an
goals.
she's got an
Yeah.
incredible smile and a beautiful attitude, and she loves and supports you, and that's magic.
Don't know where I'd be
Sorry,
without
you
her.
got the banana.
Don't know where I'd be without her. No, that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. I love it. That's why that's monkeying around. Right? We're a little
Okay,
bit
we're
serious,
at
a little
the
bit
forum.
stupid. So
We're at the
we're at the
forum.
forum, and we are setting up shop, getting ready to sell my apparel. And I do YouTube and I do stuff on Instagram, and I always am trying to promote positivity and just self-awareness. And there's no point on being negative and doing negative things in your life.
Okay, give me the banana because
Go,
I gotta
go,
say
go to
something.
the other aspect and be positive.
So there's this young man at the Forum in Halifax, and we all know the Forum's old school. We go to the Forum on Sunday mornings so that we can enjoy old school Halifax.
Most
It's
definitely.
one of the most loved landmarks in the city. And you really don't go there to be up on the newest technology, social media, blah, blah, blah.
Old
You're
school
there
flea
to,
market items.
right, to
Yeah.
follow the line,
Yeah.
get in, go up and down,
Get down to the
barter.
nitty gritty.
Exactly.
Yeah, knock 50
So-
cents off.
I'm doing some purging. Thought it was a great time after the new year to go and take a table at the flea market. And I'm watching people around looking. I'm an observer. And 2 rows down, there's this young man. And he's got his camera in his face. And he's talking to nobody. And he's walking around his table. And I've noticed Maple Monkey Media, Maple Monkey Apparel, and his mother with his beautiful red hair and this great big smile, and him just full force, not giving a flying flick
You can swear on here.
what
It's all good.
anybody else thought. He was doing what he knew he should be doing. And to me, in such an old school atmosphere, that you brought such new school, new thought, new awareness, and just picked up the camera and did social media right there, interactive. You got shots of us singing that day. You got shots of the people visiting. It was like a kick in the ass. It really was. It was like a kick to me to say, do you see this? This is not impossible. And
that's why I do it, is to motivate people and to say that you need to get out of your own way. That's the only people that is in your way, is the only person is yourself. The person looking back at you.
Right.
That's it.
And so I have to tell you, young man, you really did. You really spoke to me. It was like, get out of your own way, Audra.
I appreciate that.
I really have an issue with, and I've, like, people that don't know me, I've been in the entertainment and hospitality industry since I was a child, and I have national records, and I've worked in the music industry in the city for quite some time, and in the Maritimes, I've garnered a pretty decent career. I always laughed about the old Jody Messina song, "Stuck in the Middle Where Money Gets Tight," but I guess I'm doing all right. I always kind of coined that off on my career, but I know that I'm really critical about myself and being seen and just doing it off the cuff.
Most definitely. And I think too, where you are in a little bit different age frame and a little bit different age bracket, you are coming from the past era where that was kind of not the way to go about things.
Oh, I got to tell you, if my mother was alive right now and she saw me with a hoodie on camera,
right?
My mother would have a freak.
So it just goes to show, like, just people of, not saying that you're old or anything.
No, generationally,
you're not.
our concepts are different.
Exactly. And what you have to go through to overcome that, to stay relevant in this new day and age with media and technology and everything.
That's the word.
You have to stay relevant.
So Chip Conley is a modern day mentor. You want to take a look at the book if anybody is interested in being a modern day mentor. And I don't think anybody wants to go into the business of being a modern day mentor. I just think that you hit a age and you decide that, okay, I've learned a lot and I actually have some stuff to share. I have some skills to share. And that's what mentoring is like, instead of feed me, it's what can I share? What can I help? What can I contribute back? And so an older modern day mentor has to also be, thank you, Chip Conley, has to also learn to be a learner. And so you really challenge me because I have to do this. I have to break out of this shell and be able to say, okay, this is how we market our businesses nowadays. This is how we share our message online, right? It's not letters and just emails and direct mail. It is.
To a certain extent, yes.
But those are more personal, but nobody knows you if you're not out there.
Mm-hmm. You have to build connections, I think. I love meeting people. I just love promoting positivity, and I think it was even Gary Vee the other day that might have said
he's another one of our idols.
Yeah, he's
we
my
love
mentor.
Gary Vee.
I haven't met him, but it's my goal.
Okay,
and,
we're gonna post this to Gary Vee, okay? Because
right.
Gary Vee, you got to hear me. I have been eating up your stuff, and this young man has really challenged me grassroots to do this, and yeah, man, he's on ya. He understands what you're doing. He's challenging me to understand the same thing. And if you get a chance, just an inkling, you could send some information to teach me even more.
Both of us.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Gary Vee, we're after you.
Spitting fire all the time. No, I think the great thing about the day and age now is mentors can be maybe not now, but of always, mentors can be of any age. And I know that there's a man, and I forget his name. I wish I could think of his name. And he's only 18, 19, 20 years old, but through the experiences that he's went through, he was born, or I'm getting probably some facts wrong, or had surgery where he had to remove all of his limbs, his arms and his legs. And through his experience that he's went through in that 18 years of his life, he may not be old, but those experiences and the trials and tribulations that he's gone through, people look to him as a mentor. So I don't think that even today's age, people of your age that are older than me, they could look down at somebody at 18, 19, 20, or me, I'm 29, and can I don't know if you consider me a mentor, maybe one day, but could even look at them as mentors, even though other people would be like, well, how can they be your mentor? They're younger than you, but it's
They inspire me. They challenge
Exactly.
me. They make me be the best I can be. They hold me accountable to the things that matter.
Exactly.
What was really I was thinking there as you were talking, and it dropped my thought, but yeah, let's go on, because I wanted to say that, and it's going to come back to me because it's an important thought about, building community. This is how people can make you a mentor. Okay, so
It's so funny because we started this train of thought on the story of how we met, and look at how far we've snowballed off the topic, and we haven't even finished that story yet.
this is kind of how I met him. Is that we began talking like this and went, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. And this is what and so there's a network of people that are realizing that we've lost community. My generation,
definitely.
your generation, you've traveled all over the world now as a young man. And throughout that travel, have you not found people are hungry for community?
Most definitely.
So my generation sees
for love and positivity.
my generation sees that connection isn't there, that most people aren't going to the community centers anymore. They're not going to church anymore.
And
they're losing connection. They're finding it on social media.
That's that big cultural difference in when you grew up to when I grew up, because when you grew up, there was that community. There was that sense of community where
Yep.
people would still go to the
Yep.
community centers. People wouldn't have the Sunday shopping. People would be with
Right.
their families.
Right.
People wouldn't
There was
be,
a family unit that was
Exactly.
different than it
People
is now.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
be hungry for social media likes, presence, and fake bullshit that's going on there. And now that, I mean, it still happens now, but now we have a lot more to overcome. And when all of this is being forced down our throat, it's a lot harder to overcome, I think, than it would be back in your generation
So
as well.
people are looking to social media for connection.
Exactly.
And so this is what's hard for me, and this is where the rubber meets the road with social media. Anybody that knows me knows I'm real. I'm really, really real. And I'm a little verbose, and I've got a big personality, but I'm sincere and I'm real. But what I guess scares the shite out
you
of
can
me.
swear. It's all
I
good.
know, but I have people I love.
I know.
I have people I love and respect want to watch this
So do I.
that are going to go, Audra.
But I'm not. This is
It's
my
a show of your
podcast.
limit of intelligence, and I'm going to go, yeah, I know, but I wanted to get a point across.
This is raw.
Is that
This
I
is
need to
live.
get out of my own way.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a hard thing not to be. It's important to be vulnerable.
Oh, most definitely.
And being vulnerable,
People can relate to it.
it's not always easy.
Most definitely. And that's when I think when you find things that aren't always easy, that's when you, even though that you know that you're going to grow from it, and you can realize that
Yeah.
even putting yourself out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
even though that you know positive things are going to happen from it, it is so hard to do that and to have that strength. Like, I commend people that do have that strength, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to have that strength and to pull yourself. If you, not saying that anybody is in a bad situation, but if you are in a bad situation and listening to this, and you have pulling yourself out of the depths of the abyss, and you're just you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. I'm telling you, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Like, and if you have pulling yourself out without any help, I commend you, because that takes a strong person. So if you can do that just by yourself, imagine what you can overcome with this mindset and this positive mindset you're
so
adopting now.
I'm going to interrupt one more time, then I'm going to hand you this banana, because
I know we're not even handing it back and forth.
I want to hear something from you. I really do, because I want you. I know a little bit about you.
Mhm.
I know that you're a world traveler. Malaysia, am I right?
Yeah, I've been all
And-
over Mexico, Singapore,
Yeah.
Asia.
Here, buddy. On one of those
Pass
occasions,
the banana.
one of those occasions when you were out on your own, there was no calling mama.
I always had her.
There was no.
She was
She wasn't going to be able to solve a
No,
problem.
no. But she was there for like support.
Okay, but there had to have been a time. I mean, I'm sure you were in places where there wasn't even cell service.
Oh, of course, most definitely.
Okay, there had to be a place where you came to a point where you had to be accountable to you,
Oh, yes.
but yet vulnerable enough that you had to trust somebody.
Mhm.
Is that ringing a bell at
Oh,
all?
all kinds of stories
so
come to
give
mind.
give me one of those instances where you can give us a 30-second, a minute story about
So
I
So I
was.
was in Cancun, and when I was in Cancun, this was my second trip down there. And what we have down there, what we have, like I live there. That's how, like
Who doesn't
I'm a
want to live in
local,
Cancun?
right?
I told you he's dreaming, right? Okay, go ahead.
So I'm down in Cancun, and what they have down there instead of taxis, it's called colectivos. It's a cheap way of transportation, and it costs like a couple pesos. So I'm in a colectivo, and I wanted to get to a spot, and I speak poquito español, very little Spanish, very little, yeah, poquito, very poquito. So I'm trying to remember my stops and make landmarks and everything, and I'm a jovial person talking with everybody that's in the colectivo, talking with the driver. So I just lose complete train of thought, and I
No.
don't remember where I am, and I don't remember any of the landmarks that I look at, and all of a sudden everybody is leaving the collectivo, and we're going further and further and further away from where I stopped.
And you're thinking, what was I thinking? I
Right?
wasn't thinking.
Because I'm like, okay, well, in my mind, he's the bus routes in Canada. Let's just relay this information to the bus routes in Canada, how they just do circles and circles and circles. So in my mind, the collectivos in Mexico will do
We're
circles
gonna
on
do
the
a
same route.
community, and
Exactly.
yeah.
No, 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 no. Everybody knew this but me. They were getting off of the collectivo at their stops. Buddy, his last stop was his house, I don't know, way out on the outsides of the city. And he's looking at me like saying stuff in Spanish, like, are you getting off? And like, I can barely understand him. And I find out that he's like, nope, I'm not. This is my last stop. I'm parking my collectivo here, and you have to find your way back now. I'm like, oh, well, how is this going to work now? Well, can you help me out at all? I ask him, like trying to convey this in what little bit of Spanish that I do know. So I go to him, and he, broken English, broken Spanish, he conveys that over across a couple blocks away that there's a collectivo stop where people, there's multiple bus stops, and you can go there and hopefully find somebody. So I'm like,
So he sent you across the street.
yeah, so he sent me a couple blocks across the street, and I'm just like freaking, like it's afternoon, probably a couple hours left before the sun goes down in a foreign country, in not the best part of Cancun. Don't have very much money on me, and I'm just like, well, here is an
Here we
adventure.
go.
Here we go. So,
That's vulnerable.
oh, exactly. Oh, I have lots of stories like this, lots of stories. So I get over there, and I start talking, same thing, broken Spanish, broken English, Cancun, trying to get there, colectivo, bus, aerobus, whatever I can think of. Man, some guy managed to just look at my face. If the sheer shock and terror must have been on my face of like, I need to get back. He's like, okay, I'm going back into the city. He spoke enough English to say, I'm going back into the city. Come with me. I will take you this far, and then I will put you on my friend's bus to get you into the city. And I'm like, oh my, like, God bless you. God bless you. I don't know what I would have done. So I hooked him up. I gave him some extra pesos, and like, he's like, and funny thing is, on the way back, I nearly missed my stop again. Yeah. So he passes my stop where I told him to stop, and he's like, oh, no, that's your stop. We passed. I'll stop right here for you. I'm like, oh man, like that. I don't know what you would have done if I would have went on the other side of Cancun this time. But yeah, that was a time where I had to put a lot of faith into somebody that I didn't know, and hope that he wasn't gonna kidnap me and bring me off into the depths of Cancun, right? And like I say, I have lots of stories like that. Just take blind faith in people, and just things work out.
So knowing that, you probably would be smarter next time, right?
Probably
You'd be a
not.
little bit no.
Probably not, no. To be quite honest with you, probably not. No.
Okay, that's where you and I differ.
See, I love, I don't know, I love stuff like that. Like I don't know, I'm a big foolish idiot.
Adventurous.
Yeah, I'm a big foolish.
Don't say that.
No, in a good way, Like, I don't know, like I'm an adrenaline junkie. Like, and to me, like something like that.
Up for the adventure. What the
Yeah.
hey? So you just got on that bus anyway to see how far you were going.
Pretty well. That's the adventure is not in the destination; it's in the journey.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I try
That's
to.
man.
That's what
If
I try
you
to
can learn
implement
that young. You
Yeah.
can, because a lot of my life I always thought there was some chalkboard in the sky that I had to fulfill all these things that were on the chalkboard, and when I realized I was the one that wrote on the chalkboard, what a revelation!
Makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, you just need to set that so we can see it. How far were we?
We
Right on, weren't we?
Pretty well. Missed maybe like 30 seconds.
That's no big deal.
Yeah.
Because I think you did a closed sentence anyway beforehand. So
Yeah, I could probably clip something.
yeah,
I'm thinking.
yeah. You had about the end of your adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Okay. That's cool. That gives them an idea where we met, where our headspace is, what we're doing about social media. Let's talk about what we're doing with social media for the next little while.
Yeah, KWC. KWC is a big thing that's happening there, and Log Cabin Entertainment and Hospitality, another big thing that's there.
I'm eating my treats.
Yeah, no
Can
worries.
you hear that?
I'm probably just gonna leave all of this stuff in anyway, to be honest with you. Yeah, love it. Love the.
He does
rawness.
very little editing.
Ah,
That's a generational thing
excuse
too, I'm
me.
sure.
I do lots of editing.
Do you?
But
Okay.
not with this podcast. I like keeping the podcast live, but with my other YouTube videos, editing galore. I am backlogged of editing. It is unreal. Unreal.
So you do 20-minute segments.
Yeah, with this, I just switched up the segments and everything. This is a whole new setup. I did a podcast interview the other day. That's why your interview is now, because I screwed that up. The microphones weren't connected right. So I thank you for this last-minute interview and podcast because you saved my butt.
Tell me his name.
He was David Borden. He owns Borden
Borden
Real
Real
Estate.
Estate.
Yeah, down here in Sackville, Nova Scotia. And
In Sackville.
yeah, he
David Borden from Borden Real Estate. I just want to say thank you because it's timely. And there'll be lots of time for people to promote David Borden from Borden Real Estate in Sackville.
now we can promote Audra Raulyns at KWC.
Log Cabin Entertainment and Hospitality on Facebook.
There you go. Check them out.
Yeah, check us out
Links will
because-
be in the description below.
Because here at the cabin, there's lots of opportunities. It is cozy at the cabin. We've got the fire going, treats. We do rentals and we do events here. We do workshops. We've had beautiful Valentine's. Last year we had Devin Chittick, and we had cocktails with a comedian for Valentine's, and it was absolutely fabulous. We had a
Great.
children's choir for Christmas. We've had weddings out back. My wedding out
Just gonna
back.
say, yeah, the venue out back is absolutely amazing.
See if you can tag on a picture of the amphitheater. He's got some wicked drone pictures of the amphitheater.
for the video. I'll overlay some drone videos of there.
I'd love
And,
that.
yeah,
I'd
no,
love that
definitely.
because
So I'll get that added
it's
in.
got a 100-seat amphitheater.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I know.
Can't
It's
wait.
so wicked. 30 by 16 stage with a 10-foot backstage and a 6-foot ravine overhanging deck.
And not to mention the area that it's in. The area up here in Rawdon, Nova Scotia is
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. We call it God's country.
It is God's country.
It really is.
It's made out of gold here.
Beautiful.
My beautiful husband, Jack Cameron, built that stage for me and the seating and everything as a wedding gift.
Amazing.
And so, yeah, it's
That is
really
I
beautiful.
I actually
eh?
did not know that.
Didn't you know that?
No,
yeah,
I did
yeah.
not.
So that was some girls, they get a special little jewelry or something, a trip to Cancun maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the other ends of Cancun. But yeah, I got a stage, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, and so we've had concerts. We're planning to do a couple of really cool events here. I have 3 grandchildren. And being a middle-aged woman that has run the business mostly by myself up until I just recently got married, and with my daughter.
Yeah, I actually know your daughter.
Which is so cool. We found
Crazy.
we found out that Adam and Naomi, my eldest daughter, I have 2 daughters, Naomi and Hannah. My eldest daughter, Naomi, and Adam went to school together.
Yeah, ever
Very
since
cool.
I don't think in junior, or I don't think in Monarch, but I
high
think from junior high actually, from junior
Yeah,
high
yeah,
on,
yeah,
and then all
yeah.
through high school. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
found that out, and I'm like, wow, like, what are the chances? Like,
Yeah,
it's
small
a
world,
small
right?
world. It's an absolutely small world.
Naomi does a lot of the promotional help and helps me with a bunch of the work and that, and so we're going to be doing some events. I was saying I have 3 grandchildren, and my youngest is a boy. His name is Xavier, but we call him Bam,
Bam.
Bam, because he's a little rough.
Isn't that like off of the Flintstones? Was his
Bam
name
Bam.
Bam? Bam. Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought so. Yeah.
So we call him Bam. And so we've decided to do a special group of events that we hope we'll encourage more men to come out to our events. We're going to do BAM events.
Okay.
Bring a man.
Love it.
Bring a man event.
And I mean, like, what guy wouldn't want to come out to a cabin in the woods, right?
Exactly.
Right? Like.
So we're doing some real cool, now, male-orientated or couple-orientated, non-gender specific
And
orientated
I think too.
events. Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah, no, I'm definitely in for that.
Yeah,
So, you'll definitely have to let me know.
I would love to break open what we're gonna do, but I can't tell.
Not
yet.
quite yet. No, little teaser maybe later on down the line. But no, I wanted to segue this into.
It's legal.
It's legal.
Legal. There's my segue.
There, yeah. So
it's legal.
So there you go. So we were talking a little bit earlier about mental health, and this kind of segues into it either. And just because you're a man, because I am obviously a man.
Hello.
Yeah, right. Shocker. And I take mental health really, really seriously.
Yeah.
It's not something that you shy away from. It's not something that you should, laugh at. And mental health is a very, very broad spectrum, I think. And not that I think, that I know.
We do.
And I've dealt with my own mental health issues. Nothing serious.
All of us have.
Most definitely. And guys out there listening, like, you can admit that you have mental health problems. Like, it is okay. That doesn't make you anything less of a guy. That doesn't make you anything less of a man. You still have your masculinity. Like, that just shows, that makes you more of a man. That makes you more, because that just shows that you want to help people, help yourself, and you can't help people if you don't help yourself. So if you have that love for yourself, that you want to better yourself for other people, not only for yourself, man, kudos to you. You are a great person, and keep striving for greatness. Not only guys out there, that goes for women, kids, anybody of all ages. Just make sure that if you can make that recognition that you're struggling, ask for help. Reach out if you want. Even reach out to me. I'm going to do my best to shell out positivity on every aspect that I can. And I feel very, very seriously about mental health. So it's not something that you should shy away from. Take it seriously, and take the steps needed to get help.
You make my heart happy.
I really appreciate that.
You are a new generation of man.
I appreciate that.
Look at me. I'm almost in tears, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm an emoter by trade, right?
Yeah.
So with music and art, you help people relate and connect. So I learn to emote feelings. And so when I watch, when I experience, when I see somebody sharing their heart, it's like, oh, look what he's doing. That's so brave. That's so brave. That's so brave. And so, because it's being vulnerable.
Most definitely.
We talked about it.
Yep.
Do you know? And
I wear my heart on my sleeve, and a lot of the times that
people look at you a little.
not a little, a lot, and it took me a while to get over that, and especially where I do the vlogging and the camera and perception is a big thing. So once you start loving yourself, you really don't. Everything else will fall into place.
I have to tell you, that's something that day at the flea market when we left, Jack and I were talking about, and what an impact. And he said, did you see his eyes? Did you see how pure and beautiful his eyes are? And so it was like, it's acknowledged, brother. There are men that are generations above you that are going, okay, these young men, they're a little kooky. And they spend way too much time online, and they should know how to do a little bit more, the man work. But
that's not me. That's not me.
No, that's not you. I know you know all the work. But but that's the older generation, man.
Of course.
At least from my perception, going on about the younger generation, man. They don't know how to work. They get face in the television, yada yada, or their telephone or whatever. But you guys are making a difference. You guys are showing a vulnerability, an entrepreneurship that a lot of these men forgot about.
Maybe not even forgot about. Maybe not wasn't even taught to them.
Maybe it was worked out of them.
Exactly, because I know that even like people in my father's generation, we're not that far apart in age, And that age divide is all that
Come
it
on,
takes.
I'm old enough to be your mother.
No, I know, but even still, but I mean, even though that we could be, let's say, 20 years apart, that in all fairness, 20 years really isn't that much of time. So
No,
like, but I
no,
mean,
you're right.
it's enough time where
You're
people.
right. It does go
It,
like that.
no, yeah. Oh, and the older you get, the faster it goes. But it is enough time where if you're growing up in a certain way for a certain amount of time, then you're going to have things ingrained in your subconscious, whether you want it there or not, because it's just you've done things for a certain way for so many years over so many times that even without trying, that it's ingrained in your personality and in your soul and who you are, and it actually like takes serious self work and self truth to find your who you are and your truth.
Yeah.
And I think that people
That's
don't.
educating.
Yeah, don't
You
they don't
stay-
realize that either.
And that isn't vulnerability, that's ignorance. The true sense of the ignorance.
Exactly.
The word of ignorance.
The truth will set you free.
Is that when we care enough to dig in, even in the hard spots, when it matters, what's valuable, what's valuable to you. And so if you have a heart for people, which you obviously do, if you want to make the world a better place, which you obviously do, you got to take those actions. You got to take those efforts to make that mark, to do that's being vulnerable. To be vulnerable, you have to have some confidence in your own awareness.
Most definitely.
So that's another one. We're big both Joe Dispenza fans.
Oh yeah, no, love Joe Dispenza.
Dr. Joe
Love
Dispenza
him.
fans. Yeah,
Yeah, huge.
And Marissa Peer is an amazing teacher as well. And so they teach about the strength of your mind and being able to be smart enough to get there and understand. What's the words I'm going to use? The practicality of it. I recognize this. This is not the healthiest thought I've had, or this is a real weakness of mine. I really fall short in
And
this
I think too,
area.
it comes down to people. I used to think this myself. Is you think something that's so simple, like saying things, voicing things into fruition.
Sure, manifesting. Yep.
Exactly, manifesting things into fruition, saying what you want with your true belief, and actually not in your mind, but saying it out loud.
That's with intent.
Exactly. So something like that is so powerful, and it's so easy to do, but it makes such a huge difference. But I think that people look at it as, oh well, that's something so easy. How is something so easy going to be make a huge difference in my life? But once you start adding in something so easy, 1, something so easy, 2, something so easy, 3, all of these different steps that people look at so easy, then they start adding up, and then you can look back after you've started accomplishing these things and be like, holy shit, yeah, okay, each thing was easy, but now look at all of those things that I have accomplished from that one easy
one
thing,
step,
right?
Yeah, recognize one vulnerability, one weakness, take one step,
Exactly.
then another step, fortify that
Even though
step.
that you may think it's simple and that
Yeah.
it will
Yeah.
it will not move you in any
Funny, eh?
inclination forward, it actually
Funny.
will. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, and once you can make that realization, I think like life
So,
starts coming to you.
Joe Dispenza talks about changing the actual neural pathways in your brain. So you actually, by taking those steps, you starve out those neural pathways that are non-beneficial or that are negative thinking thoughts, that are demeaning or drowning thoughts or unedifying thoughts, and work your mind in the direction. It literally builds a stronger pathway. I think about being in the snow right now.
Mm-hmm.
Once you walk a pathway so many times, it gets
down.
really beaten down. Walking down the hill, you beat a path. Now you can just kind of slide down that path, right? After you beat it. So once you beat the path down, getting down the path's easy.
And then I think too, once you have it,
It's forging the path.
exactly. And then not only that is forging the path is going to be hard. Then you're going to have a well-defined path. And once you have that well-defined path, things are going to get easy. And once you can't let things get easy. You have to be constantly
Forging the path.
Exactly, constantly forging forward. Don't get complacent. Don't be like, oh, I have this nice path. I'm just going to set up shop here. Do. Always be hungry for more.
Growing.
Growing. All but for the positive, for the better. shell out that negative, you get rid of that. So one of the things that I literally have done on my way here, because when I drive, I get in that rage sense behind the wheel. It's just one of the places where I have a hard time being peace just because of all the idiots on the road.
Tell me something.
So hold on.
Go ahead.
So one of the things that I do is when I notice that I see myself going down this negative framework and this negative roadwork of road rage or whatever, I literally stop myself, say out loud, I say, no, Adam, stop. Trapdoor open, negative thoughts out, positive thoughts in. So I say that like 5 or 6 times, negative thoughts out, positive thoughts in, trapdoor open, trapdoor closed. Just go over that cycle, and literally say it 6 times. And those negative thoughts and that like little bit of rage that I could start feeling and seed and growing, completely gone.
Okay, so let me share a little bit about
Yeah.
that. Hang on, I got a cough. Oh my!
Let it out.
It's a beautiful wood heat in the
cabin.
In the cabin.
Right.
So science has proven, if you go to a Heart Math Institute, that 17 seconds, a train of thought, you follow it for 17 seconds, and another thought will couple up to it. Now, it may not even be about the same subject, but it has the same feeling and intent. So you get behind the wheel and you get anxious, and then the next thing you know, you're thinking about other things that make you anxious or irritate you or you off, and the next thing you know, look at Buddy beside you flipping you the finger because you're not paying attention because you got 4 other things on the go, and oh man, you missed your exit. Hello, the boss.
Snowball effect,
right?
Yep.
So if we can do the same thing with a positive momentum, instead of it going all the way to the end of Cancun at the end of the road, and
I'm glad that happened though.
I'm using it as an example.
No, of course. Yeah, of course.
This is what we would do.
Yeah.
You're glad that it happened that way. Move your mentality positive. So, negative thought, get out. Positive thought, get in. Negative thought, get out. Positive thought, get in.
Yep.
You're making that change more than 17 seconds. You make it longer than 34 seconds. Then carry it. 68 seconds. You've now built momentum in the other direction. There's a teacher that talks about this, Abraham Hicks. But
so what you're saying is,
the science is proven that if you know that old commercial, you wouldn't, but you guys know that old commercial.
I might.
Wella Balsam, I think, was the name of the shampoo. You love it so much that you tell 2 friends and they tell 2 friends.
I actually know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So there was a screen at the end of that commercial, and there was all these faces on the screen. It was like the Brady Bunch multiply.
Yep.
Right? The
Yep.
Brady Bunch closing, multiply. And that's what happens to our thoughts. That they couple up in that program, in that screen of our mind, 17 seconds at a time. And energy's moving so quickly that now you put your mind on something. Think about it, 15 seconds.
So that's what
something else will couple up. So when you're in positive thought, when you stop the negative, build into the positive, it doesn't take very long. Then one has come up against.
Yeah. So what you're saying is those negative thoughts come in and then kick them out the door, but spend 17 seconds reaffirming those positive thoughts that you're bringing in. At least 17 seconds. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Because it takes that long for another positive thought
to couple against it.
To couple up against.
Makes
to
sense.
couple up with it.
Yeah.
So then those 2 have 17 and couple up it. Think about it. Our body does the same thing. We're wounded. I burnt my hand recently on the wood stove, and we're wounded. What happens? Red blood cell comes, calls out to another. And the next thing you know, you're healing. It's the same with our thoughts. Okay, time for a break. I got to talk to you about KWC. Yeah. Because we're going to spend a lot of time in the next little while together. Every Sunday afternoon.
For the next, 2 months?
Yeah, from March 8th to May 3rd.
March 8th to May 3rd. Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that on the poster. I know my mom was asking me a bunch of questions about it, actually. She's like,
no, we're not going to be doing Easter. Easter, you're free. So don't panic. And we're done before Mother's Day. So mothers, don't panic. You have no reason not to support your children. You have no reason not to be out there yourself, because there are some phenomenal women and men, I was thinking mothers, in the city that should be doing this.
So what is it? KWC. What is KWC for anybody that doesn't know that's listening
Okay.
that could be interested?
Karaoke World Championships is the largest karaoke competition in the world.
And how are you involved in KWC?
Last year, the Canadian Karaoke World Champion was my best friend.
Oh, beautiful.
So Katie Day Reich, I love you, Katie.
Shout out.
I love you, Katie. I love you. Katie Day Reich submitted a video.
Okay.
Did video submissions, the exact same thing that we're offering here in Halifax. Last year, had an opportunity to go to Calgary, represent the Maritime Provinces, because she won the Maritime from a video submission.
Beautiful.
And then went to Calgary, won the Nationals, and then went to Tokyo, and is now second in the world.
Look at that.
It
Hometown.
It is an incredible vocal competition. I really want to encourage you. Go to YouTube. Go to Karaoke World Champions.
All the information will be in the description
It's all
below.
there. They were in Tokyo last year. And if you don't know Katie Day Reich, you are missing one of the most wonderful entertainers. She's a beautiful soul, an incredible personality. Actually, I think she's gigging on the island this weekend. If you have anybody in PEI, she's not even knowing I'm plugging her.
There you go.
Katie's at the warehouse this weekend. We're at Clay West this weekend. So if you're not in PEI and you're in Nova
Halifax,
Scotia,
yep.
Tomorrow you want to be in Clay West. Tomorrow
Bears Lake.
afternoon, Bears Lake. There's a big celebration going on. Ryan Roberts, Tony Trimper, Roxanne Roberts, myself. I'm sure Jack's going to be able to make it with me, and we're going to fill the music all afternoon.
It's going to be a great time.
It is going to be a great time. It's going to be a huge time.
Yeah. So get down there. You will not be disappointed.
So back to Katie. Katie has been a performer for years. Many of you know her name from radio, and took a chance. Katie is a professional singer, and now is in real estate doing fabulously well. So she works two careers,
Beautiful.
which we all have to do when we're working through the music business sometimes.
Yep.
And she, like, second in the world, just blows my mind. And you can see all the videos. You can see how the whole competition works. You can get all the information from kwc.com and register.
How long has KWC been around for?
Oh, my dear.
Quite a while?
I want to say over a decade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
well over a decade.
Little while then,
But
yeah.
it's never really toured the Maritime. So if you have been in a international or national competition in the Maritimes, it hasn't been this one. So you understand? Karaoke World Championships, other than last year receiving video submissions, has not come to the Maritime Provinces. They're in the Maritime Provinces and expanding through Canada this year. They're in, I want to say, 40 countries.
Oh, wow. I didn't even
No,
pull it.
26. Sorry, I apologize. It's 26 countries with over 40 contestants went to the finals in Tokyo last year.
Gotcha. Okay.
So 26, Indonesia, China, United States. It
And
was
the
a beautiful woman from the UK that won. They do duet competitions and single competitions.
And the finals this year are being held in Toronto. Toronto, Canada.
So this is what I think. This is my head space. Is I would love to this year, as a former international singing competitor, I have a little manual that I've written, a competitor singer's manual.
Yep.
And I'm working as a scout with KWC in the Maritimes to help them find some really great
Local talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're at Clay West from March 8th to May 3rd, we are going to...
So that's it's every weekend.
Every Sunday afternoon starts at 3.
Every Sunday afternoon at 3 at Clay West and Bears Lake, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Correct. If you want to be a part of the competition, register at Karaoke World Championships. You'll see the logo on Facebook.
Yep.
We're going to post it. My site, your site, the karaoke
You can
site.
check out our different Instagrams.
Yeah, all the different
all of it will be in the
medias.
description below.
And the registration is only $25, which is really, really, really inexpensive for that in Halifax alone. So you won't get this if you register anywhere else in the Maritimes. You're going to get an opportunity to have the free video that you're going to send them, the same video that weekly we send to
Off to the
KWC.
judges.
They're going to have for their disposal for them to work on their own career with. They're also going to, weekly, they're also going to have an opportunity a half hour before. I might even make it an hour so that both Jack and I have some really good time to spend with people, but to do a coaching session.
Oh,
this
beautiful.
isn't stuff that people get in Moncton or anywhere else in Canada. This is stuff that note was solid. You need to work on this part of that. I love the presentation when you did this.
Actually,
I know
fundamentals.
judges are looking for that. I've competed in Canada. I've competed in the U.S. since I was 11. I've competed in the UK, England. So I know what international judges are looking for. And so those little tips that I get, you don't have to take them. You don't have to take them.
But they're there
But
from
if
somebody
they're-
who knows what they're talking about.
And it's not only for people for competition. If you want to come for the next 8 weeks from March to May, and you want to come and you don't want to compete, but you want to sing in the afternoon, or you want to get those, tidbits, those tips. You're not comfortable in front of the microphone. You don't know how to present yourself on stage. You would love to go from just karaoke to maybe something. And it's not just karaoke. You guys, I'm so adamant about this. I worked for years in the industry and only used backing tracks. I stabilized my career in an era and an industry where I used backing tracks and built my name.
And what is a backing track?
It's a karaoke track.
There you go.
It's the same track that they use when they're on Kimmel,
Yep.
when they're on late night, when
So literally, the sky's the limits from it.
when they're lip syncing to their own music on stage. This is all a karaoke track is.
So this literally could be the precursor to something huge then.
Hello.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of artists that don't look at it that way. That I know in my career, because I do play a little bit of piano and guitar, but because I'm not a master guitar player, there are people that look down at you not as an artist.
Mhm.
And that's not the case. There are amazing presenters, emoters, singers that feel limited because they don't play an instrument. And it doesn't have to be that way. Karaoke World Championships is a phenomenal way for you to get the
The skills and
the
the
live video.
fundamentals and yeah.
to be connected with you, to be able to maybe work further on little career
Yep.
opportunities as they break open for them, for you to be able to help them
Song
with their video.
song fundamentals and
social
showcasing
media.
and everything.
What do I do with these videos
Yeah.
now that I have them? Where should they go? What should I do with them? What about my own page? What about so there's a lot of feedback that we're going to be able to give these contestants in Halifax that they're not going to get anywhere else in Canada at KWC. So I can't encourage you enough. Please go to Log Cabin EH on Facebook. Go to Maple Monkey Media. Go to KWC. Connect to the network. Find out the information that you need to find out. Start with us on March 8th. Katie Day Reich has made a way for the Maritimers. They're going to be looking for us. They're going to be looking internationally. This company, KWC, comes from Tokyo.
Okay.
So they brought it here this year.
So after, let's say, competitors compete here in Clay West in Bears Lake,
Yes.
What then?
Haha.
What's after that?
Okay, thank you. So there is a grand prize, and I won't tell you all of it online because you got to keep some of that. Including we're offering free passes to the summer vocal workshops because we hold vocal workshops here at Log Cabin, and so we're going to be having 2 specific karaoke style soundtrack. Stage on the live stage in the
Beautiful. That's going to be
so
amazing.
for those people that don't have the opportunity, that have only maybe been on a karaoke stage, that can expand that opportunity to be on a larger stage, perform for a larger audience, we're going to do that during the vocal camps this summer. So I'm really excited to do that. So the winners, and we're taking 5. We're taking 5 to the final. So on May 3rd, we're going to have our championships that are going to go to Moncton for the champions. We're taking 5 of the champions to Moncton.
So from Halifax
to Moncton.
So out of all of the competitors that enter in Halifax, you're taking 5 competitors from Halifax to Moncton, New Brunswick.
Yes.
Would that be the semifinals? Would it be considered, or?
Yeah, it'd be the regional finals.
Okay, the regional finals.
So we each have provincials. So there's people that are sending video submissions from PEI and from the far ends of New Brunswick and that can't get to the competition every week. But in Nova Scotia, we have Halifax, where we're offering this because there's a larger population. We're able to do that.
Yep.
We're sending videos every week from there. You'll receive your points back every week. You receive where you lie in the regionals.
Okay, so you get points.
You're evaluated weekly with points, and so you get to know where you are.
So after you sing per weekend,
Yep.
you get your video submitted to the judges.
Correct.
The judges will then grade your submission.
Before the next week,
Before
yes.
the next submission, you then can look online,
Right,
or
yes.
you can look online and
Yep.
see where you got and where
Rank.
you're standing and
Yes.
the points that you got. And with
in Nova Scotia compared to New Brunswick.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I just want to make this clear for people that are interested and are going through with this. After the point system have been presented, is that where then your aspect of coaching comes in, where you can say, okay, you did really well on this. And if
Yeah,
you
but
did...
maybe they don't need so much cleavage next week.
Okay, so yeah, little tips like that, right? Love it. No, okay, so that's where I wanted to make clear.
That's what I'm making
So
clear.
little coaching tips like that,
Right.
that would be
You
a
can come
little
to me and
extra
say,
bonus.
okay, why did I only get that point
Yes,
structure?
beautiful.
Tell me why. Where you're not going to have that.
In a different province, let's
Correct.
say, or somewhere else that you could be going,
Correct.
or a different competition.
I'm also working on this is Alley Cat's Karaoke that is our major hosting in the Maritimes. They're the Karaoke World Championship representative. But we have Lori the Guy here in Halifax who repeatedly has been #1 karaoke host in all of Nova Scotia.
Well, there you go.
In the city, most definitely.
Yeah.
I believe it all in all of the province.
His name sounds familiar to me.
Lori
now
the
you-
Guy.
Now that
He's
you say it, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're going to stop in with Lori. You and I are going to stop
Beautiful.
in a few times, and because he's so wonderful and
Yep.
so helpful. And so you don't only get to have that experience at Clay West, but anywhere Lori is for the next little while, support him and go and practice all week long with him. Try a couple different tracks with him, and then come Sunday. So you're not jeopardizing, I only get to sing it once in front of everybody and I got to take the risk. In Halifax, you get the opportunity to work with Lori all week if that's what you wanted to do.
Love it,
And
yeah.
then come and nail it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Sing your heart out kind of thing. Yes. Put
So
in the
that's
work
another real
beforehand.
cool opportunity that you're going to have out of Halifax that you're not going to have anywhere else.
So it'll be like more of people building as well. It won't.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, people building. Not so much.
Oh, well, here's your ticket. Here's your competition. Go sing, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
right?
It's actually be like, hey man, like here's where you could.
Remember we
yeah.
started our first segment about
More of
talking
coaching.
about community?
Yeah, that's what this is.
It's taking an opportunity for all of us singers in the regional area in Nova Scotia you might go to this karaoke, or you might sing on Tuesday nights as at an open mic jam. You might
Yeah.
have a phenomenal, and you can play an instrument if you want with your music. You're more than welcome to do that. There's, it's fairly unrestricted. If you look at some of these KWC videos, there's like the finals in Tokyo, they had a gray avatar. It was amazing that the effort, the artwork, the costuming.
I could only imagine in Tokyo.
Beautiful drag
Only
queens,
imagine.
amazingly beautiful drag queens,
Yep.
gorgeous costumes that beautiful men and women that gowns. And so again, it's another opportunity. Step out of the box.
Exactly.
Try something you've not done.
What have we been saying this whole podcast?
This is what it's about. Build community. Step out of the box. Have something. Have fun with a
That's
competition you've never been in before.
That's the biggest thing. This is going to be fun. This is going to be so much fun. So even if you don't think you can sing, or you can't sing, who cares? You can't sing. Whatever people tell you, just come down and have some fun. Meet people, meet connections.
The
Who
entertainment
knows what's gonna
value is important.
Who knows what's gonna happen because of it, right? Like you never know. Get outside of your comfort zone and come on down and have some fun with us.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great time.
I think it's going to be really cool, and I think it's going to give people an opportunity to connect up with you too. That your skill's going to grow too.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Your skill's going to grow too. Every week you'll see something new. Every week.
Well, for me, with every aspect of what I'm doing, it's a daily goal of mine to get better. Not even daily, hourly, right?
Yeah.
Always just progressing, and we're on the same road together, and it's a lifelong journey. Where if you're on this road of betterment, there is no end goal. It is a lifelong process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about did you get time there?
Oh yeah, we got time. We got to do 20-minute segments now, so we got to keep an eye on the time. That's all.
There's a teacher from Harvard, Christensen. I mentioned it earlier to you. It is actually better for us, easier. Now that excites me. Anything that's easy, anything I can do that's good for me, that's easy.
Work smart, not hard.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to work hard too, but you got to work smart while you're working
We got to
hard.
work exactly.
So they've now done studies out of Harvard. So I'm not talking pipe dreams.
Yep.
That it's actually easier for you to be sold out 100%. Absolutely no turning back. Burn the bridges.
Burn
We
the
use
bridges,
that.
burn
Burn
the
the
boats.
bridges.
There's
Burn
no
the
going
boats.
back. Yep.
There's no going back. You're headed forward. You can't turn around. 100% easier for us to do it that way than even doing something 98%.
And if you think about it a little bit, it actually makes sense, because even if you aren't invested a full 100%, then you're going to start to question yourself. And even if you question yourself just that little bit, that's all that it takes for something to snowball. And once something snowballs, it is going to get harder and harder and harder to stop that big son of a bitch rolling over you.
But we did talk about taking those little steps, one step at a time.
Exactly.
So for me, when I go into a competition, and I've been in them all over the world, I do that 100%. And it isn't competing with anybody else. This is, I commit myself. And that's the nice thing about a competition, that it's not long term. You see a beginning and end. It's not you can commit to it and not sell your soul to the devil for years and years on end. You can do it reasonably. That 8 weeks, 100% of your soul, 100% of your mind, 8 weeks, going to get out of the winter. 8 weeks, you could raise your self-esteem. You could learn 8 brand new songs if that's what you wanted to do, or refine 8 or 10 old songs that you had.
So like literally in 8 weeks, that could be the birth of a whole new life.
Sure could.
And most definitely.
Sure could.
Yeah.
At least a whole new chapter.
No, well, that's where
How's that?
that's where you have to start.
How's that? A whole new chapter.
You have to start. The book has to start on page 1.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So I want to encourage people to if you, and even you may not consider yourself a karaoke singer.
Yeah.
Maybe you are amateur, semi-professional. maybe you've been around a little while and you consider that maybe karaoke you think is a little below you. I would challenge you. I would really, really challenge you because the coverage alone that Katie Day Reich has gotten this last year from KWC is phenomenal. Her social media following has not only jumped maritime base, but it's jumped internationally. And so we are an international community now. To bring it full circle, that if we're going to reach out to people in the next 10 years, if we're going to run a business of any sort, entertainment, hospitality, media, plumbing, real estate, right?
Anything really.
Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Borden, right? You need to have a connection,
and
a community. And we've made the internet more of our community than our community. And so you need to be real. You need to be vulnerable. You need to go out and stretch yourself. And doing this podcast is again confirmation for me, not only about being vulnerable, being myself, running my business from my heart, being able to encourage people to be who they are from the heart, how difficult that can be sometimes because we're always concerned about what people have to say and what they think. Throw it to the wind. Give 100% of yourself to something, anything.
Oh, that's exactly anything. It doesn't even matter what it is. Anything, as long as it makes you happy, I think.
Well, you got to give yourself to it first to find out.
Well, no, exactly, yeah, but you got to try. You got to try new things.
I might
in order
find
to
out
make...
by the end of Karaoke World Championship and doing all this online video stuff that I'm not doing this. Then maybe I want to go back and maybe just be a commissioner. I want to take the word "just" out of my vocabulary because I have 2 friends that are commissionaires are most beautiful people I know. And so to put just in front of the category that they employ themselves in, it makes me disappointed in myself that I would use that word. But for me, that's not what my calling is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if I would turn away from what I think is going to make me happy just because I'm afraid,
you're never going to know.
Then I'm not going to know because I'm not going to be happy.
And you're never going to get there.
I'm going to live in the fear.
Yep.
And I'm not going to be able to experience it and really know if the dream was as big as the thought.
Yeah, and you're never going to know until you step out there and do it. That's the thing. Yeah, you're never going to... It's funny because my dream was with travel and everything. I wanted to travel the world. I've traveled a lot of the world. I've seen some amazing places, seen some amazing things, met some amazing people. But it was my goal and my dream to turn travel and the travel lifestyle into the lifestyle that I wanted to live 24/7, 365, where I'm just traveling all the time. That's my brand. That's who I am. Mind you, I traveled for 3 years.
Maple Monkey Media.
Exactly. Well, that was actually Adventurous Adam at the time. So
yes, I love
I needed
it.
to go. I needed
things
to go
evolve.
through. Yeah, I needed to go through a rebranding.
And
So
people
I-
need to understand that. I
I
think that's
didn't.
very
I just
important.
want to. I want to finish this. But yeah, I. My dream was to travel the world, to do all that, and like I say, I did it. And then 3 years went by. I was living out of a backpack for 3 years, and then I realized, this isn't my dream. This
You're
isn't.
nailing it.
This isn't what
You're
I
nailing
wanted
it.
to do. Like
You're
I
nailing it,
thought
Adam.
that this is what I wanted to do. I lived it. I've experienced it. I loved it. I don't have any regrets whatsoever.
Awesome.
But until you actually go out and live it, then it's just going to be a big question mark. And then
Thank
that
you.
big question mark is
Thank
going to
you.
be a big exclamation mark of
Right.
regret.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yeah.
now I always think, am I going to regret it? If the answer is yes, I
Yeah.
do it. I don't even care anymore. I don't even care that what
Live
the
without
exactly
regret.
exactly live without regret.
Live
And
without
whatever
regret.
the outcome is, good or bad, I am there to accept it. I'm there to accept the negative.
Yeah.
I'm there to accept the positive. You
Yeah.
can't have peaks without valleys, and you need to realize that. You need to realize that you can't have good without bad.
And be grateful for it all.
Be grateful for it all, and you need to stop shying away from emotions. You need to stop shying away from these emotions that make you sad, that make you ungrateful, that make you feel insufficient, that make you feel less than. You need to accept these emotions and live in them. Don't shy away from them. It's like putting a can of Coke in the freezer.
Kind of got to appreciate them, don't you?
Most definitely,
Thank you.
you have to
Good.
appreciate them. You have to learn from them. If you use these emotions of all of these negative stuff and you just bottle it up, it's like putting a can of Coke in a freezer. And what's going to happen with that can of Coke?
Splits wide
It's
open.
going to explode over time. And I've had it happen.
You're only very lucky when that can of Coke opens around the ring.
Oh, most definitely.
It usually splits right down the side.
It mostly explodes, and
Right.
and I'm using the can of Coke as a metaphor for your life. So if that can of Coke explodes, then that's your life going into explosion because you haven't been dealing with all of these emotions that you've been dealing with. You've been forcing them into this deep down crevice that you have inside in the pit of your foot or your elbow or wherever the hell that you put these emotions at. And you're not actually living in them. You're not realizing why these emotions are popping up. You're not taking steps to implement on, okay, so this happened because of this, and now I'm realizing it because of this, and now I can put this step in place because of this. You put those steps in order and realize why those emotions have come up, you're going to be in such a better headspace than you are right now.
So that's education, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, most definitely. That's why I'm doing this podcast.
So
That's
tell
why
me
I'm doing
something for
everything
you
that I'm
then.
doing.
Where did your mental health awareness begin?
Well,
Where do you? Because we do know a
This-
little bit, but give me,
this-
the Reader's Digest. You'll have an opportunity to sit down
Yeah,
and really share that
that's a big
sometime.
that's a
but-
big story.
But and you don't have to do that now. But give me an idea of. Was it high school? Was it a trauma? Was it now you look back and we can all say, okay, we had trauma, this or that or this or that. But when did you realize, okay, awareness is better than ignorance?
So for me, there's a lot of unpacking, and I'll briefly dive into it without getting too far into it because it's a long story. So when I started this on the road of betterment and journey of life improvement and everything, it was 2016. So 2014. Without getting too much into it, high school sweetheart dumped me. We had a place together. Thought we were gonna grow life together.
First big heartbreak?
First big heartbreak, yeah.
Wow, okay.
First big legit heartbreak.
Wow.
She was my high school sweetheart. We had a house together and all that. So it came out of the blue, where we were just roommates pretty well, living together, going through the motions,
Yeah.
not happy, yada yada yada.
Part of the journey.
Exactly, yeah. So she had the strength to come to me and say, like, look, like, this is not working between us. Like, we're obviously not, we're
Wow.
not, yeah. So like,
The fact
it
that
takes-
you can even speak about it now in such respect.
oh yeah, no, I wasn't at that point. I knew that stuff was going on. I didn't have the strength to do it. I just thought that stuff was gonna play itself out, right? Like,
That's funny you say that.
stuff's gonna work out. Stuff's gonna get better. Like, we were good before. We're good. We were
Yeah.
good last week.
It'll work
it'll work
out.
out. Yeah, no worries. But no, it just
It's very
didn't.
typical for a man.
Most definitely, yeah. But me then, that was the big shock system, right? That was the big igniter to
Kick in the
who
teeth.
exactly to who I am now. So if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be this person who I am here sitting to you
Horrible
right now.
things sometimes have to happen to make
Oh,
us better
They're
and bigger.
it's the dynamite for the explosion of big things.
Yeah. We can love and accept that.
Yeah.
When we can take that with appreciation, when we can be in the middle of something horrific and go, okay,
See the good out of it.
This something more has got to be from this.
I always say
it's not gonna kill me.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna kill me. It might be killing me. It might be depleting me now.
Draining your
but
batteries.
I need to find the plug-in. I need to find the charger. I know there's a charger somewhere.
And that's where you have to dive into yourself to be able to find that charger.
Nailed
because
it.
everybody has their own
Nailed it.
batteries. Everybody has their own plugs. Not just because one person does one thing to make happy is not going to be a
Make you happy,
guaranteed successor to
exactly.
make you happy.
Exactly.
So with today's age of social media and how fast we move, it's so easy to not look inside and to just start looking outward for answers
Superficial.
and materialism and materialistic bullshit and all that stuff.
And a lot of people now, this is something that I deal with. Because this is why I don't feel like I'm on social media. This is my excuse, and I'm calling it for what it is.
I know what you're going to say even before you say it,
'Cause-
but I'll let you go.
Because I got a big personality.
Yeah.
And people don't see me as real.
Yeah.
But I'm as real as they come. And if I'm bubbly and bouncing off my Patushka one day, that's the way I am.
Yeah.
And I know I don't dwell in the negative because I realize that stuff gets you down.
Yep.
And it's harder to dig out. It's hard to dig out. I'd rather stay on the high end of normal
But
so that when I dip,
quote unquote normal, right?
so, yeah, what they think is normal, what
Exactly.
the average person thinks is normal.
There you go, yeah.
I would rather stay on the high end of normal for my own strength
And your own sanity.
than and implement the skills to take the time, the energy, the effort to build the skills in my life, because I learned a long time ago that things are skill based. Our music, our mental health, our business mind, it's skill based. And so when we can remove shame and blame from, and I learned this years ago, and a beautiful woman, Dolly Mosier, taught me this in a very huge crisis time in my life. And I was able to share it with so many people. I worked with Silent Witness Nova Scotia for 15 years. And Dolly taught me that when you can remove shame and blame from a situation and look at it, you can then begin to build skills.
Most definitely.
So you're not a good singer, not because your mother never bothered to invest in you, your life, you know, your dream. Your mother thought you should be a drummer instead, or your dad thought you should play hockey. You're not a good singer because you didn't invest in yourself.
Mhm.
You don't have a good relationship with your brother or sister. Not because they're stubborn and ignorant, because you didn't make the investment yourself.
It's all on yourself and how you present.
And so when you can see that, you can grow with your skill base. Until you can see that, then you run in a cycle, and there's your business goes nowhere.
It's almost a victim mentality as well.
And so, yeah, I'm pretty deep. Yeah, I'm a little crazy. Yeah, people are going to disagree with me, and they're welcome to disagree with me. I really don't like it when people prejudge me, and it hurts my heart.
Well, just like that is
It hurts my heart.
What is it? You assume makes an ass out of you and me.
And I had a boss tell me I was young, and I could tell you where I work. Okay, it was years and years and years ago when I worked at the Stonehouse restaurant in Truro. And I was sold out. I was trying so hard to be the best little waitress ever. And this boss I had was mean. He was an ass. And I made a mistake one day, and he watched me. And he pulled me into the kitchen, and he said to me, "What the hell did you do that for?" He was mad. And I said, "Well, I assumed that," and I never got any more than I assumed that out of my mouth. And he grabbed one of the placemats, and he grabbed a pen, and he wrote on it, "Assume. Do you know what assuming means?" And I went, "No." And he wrote the line, "It makes an ass out of you and me." And instead of learning that lesson in love and kindness, I learned that assumption lesson, never assume, out of a horrible lesson.
Almost a traumatic situation.
It was memorable, but it was one of those, whoa.
Stuck with you for the rest of your life kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it was part of that I didn't ever want to be demeaned again. I didn't want to ever be devalued for making a mistake or saying something out of my own ignorance that maybe I wasn't educated enough. Maybe that's why with my heart, you know, I follow my spirit and my heart. I've been a seeker all of my life. So so it's so important to me to have educated people like Professor Christensen, like Joe Dispenza, like these great teachers that can follow up my understanding with science, because my heart is so big that people go, oh yeah, she just got lots of enthusiasm. Oh yeah, she just got lots of personality. But I have lots of enthusiasm and lots of personality behind this because I forced myself through hard times, through rough times when I felt like I was being judged and blamed and shamed, to find out what the facts really were, to find out without shame and blame what was the mechanisms, the skill bases.
What was the purpose for me going through this kind of thing? Yeah.
What was the reason I lost that competition? And going back and looking at myself through music.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, I get it, I like that. But another example, I was in the studio yesterday with John Hemingway, Mapleville music.
Right.
Everybody's Maple.
Love it.
Everybody's Canadian. Log cabin, eh? We love being Canadian.
Gotta represent.
So I was in with Steve McDonald, John Hemingway in the studio yesterday, wearing these. It gets pretty bad when you spend half your life with headphones on. I love nature. That's why I love being in the woods. So I don't have to wear these things. Just to hear the fullness of it all. But it was a wonderful experience because it was one step at a time. And the song that we were working on had to start slow and quiet and gentle. And there was even a place in it where I started as a whisper, and where even my harmonies had to be a whisper. We were looking for the foundation of gentle and soft and slow. And sometimes our foundations, they start gentle, slow learning, little lessons that we can move from one direction to another. They're called transitional skills.
Yep.
When we can learn a lesson and move it from a personal lesson, being humiliated and degraded, way back as a young waitress, to understanding that without shame and blame we can teach, then that's a progression. I haven't always taught without shame and blame either. Right?
Yep.
And it would never have been my intention. But with a lack of skill, that happens.
Exactly.
So as you continue to grow,
You mirror the effects that are mirrored onto you. So without even
continue to grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those skills get better. Your understanding gets stronger. The foundation again, life, music, business. Yeah. We mirror those things, yeah.
Yeah, and I just made a post the other day. Is you feel good, you do good. You feel bad, you do bad. And it's as simple as that.
Maya Angelou said, "When you know better, you do better."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, be the change that you want to see in this universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it's I find that the sayings that have become cliche are the ones that people just laugh at and shrug off. And of course, none of them really come to mind right now because I'm trying to think of them. But it's the ones that are just everyday.
Be the change.
Yeah, like stuff like that, right? Exactly. That's just so cliched, so simple, and it's just has such a huge impact. And you actually start to listen and to think about those couple words and really truly think what it means. You're like, huh? Well, that could mean this. Well, this could mean that. Well, what does be that? What does it actually gets you thinking? And that's what you need to do. You need to start thinking for your own. That's the thing. You got to start thinking for yourself. And I made that realization to get back into back with my story there for 2016. That was when my story started happening, and I made the realization for me that I can't hold grudges anymore.
No,
holding grudges it does nothing but good. So without
does no good.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying. I've multiple things that I'm trying to relay here.
No
so
good. I hear you.
So we're on monkeying around here, a little bit serious, a little bit stupid, right? That was a little bit stupid part. But no, so holding grudges, with with relationships, me and my father, we went through a pretty tumultuous relationship over the past, I don't know, let's say 10 years. Not gonna
Growth. That's growth, buddy.
no, exactly,
That's growth.
exactly. We went through a couple years where we didn't speak at all to each other. No words, no communication, no nothing. It's very unfortunate that it came to be like that. But I took it upon myself where when I was on this road of change, this was one of the first things that I needed to take care of, because I knew that this person that I wanted to become, he needs to let all of this stuff go. You need to make amends, and whether or not that other person wants to make amends, that's up to them.
Right.
But you need to do what's good for you, and you need to start doing things in order to make things right in your life, without any other implications, aspects, or anything else. So that's exactly what I did. So I reached out to my father. I didn't know what was going to happen. The last time we spoke, we pretty much told each other to fuck off, and we don't want to ever see each
Take
other.
a fly and flip. Yeah.
Pretty well, and that's putting it very, very lightly.
I hear ya. Unproductive closure.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So from that point on, I said, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this. If he wants to have a relationship, it's on him. I was just into that negative mind work of holding a grudge and holding.
Huge contrast.
Yes, just holding negativity, and just
That
over those
sucks.
2 years, it was just always eating at me, always eating at me. It created not so much animosity between me and my family, but tension. You could feel tensions were kind of brought up when that subject was brought up between, let's say, like my brother, my grandmother, or anything. Like, it was kind of a tippy toe subject because everybody knew that we weren't talking, and nobody knew how to go
isn't
around
it amazing how it affects the people around you?
It's crazy. It affects one little decision. Well, one big decision. It affects not only you and what's involved, but it's you throw a rock into a pond, the ripples
That's
are
right. They're all there.
They're all there. So 2016, I made the decision. That's when me and my brother moved out to British Columbia. We lived out there for a year. That's when I started going on the path of betterment. Long story short, we found out that we lived in a converted church we lived in the basement of a converted church for a year. That's when it came back and found God was in the basement of that converted church.
Really?
It's a crazy, crazy story. That'll be another podcast.
Cool.
Yeah, so you'll have to stay tuned for that
Cool,
now.
because because I have a real connection to the church, right?
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear the story.
So found God through there, and stayed there for a year. Me and my brother made the decision to hitchhike across Canada, and we were going to stop at all of our family members along the way. So I said, okay, we're going to hitchhike across Canada. This is the time where I have to try and make things right with my father.
You really do sound like a 1960s hippie. You do know that, right?
Just saying. I've been
Go ahead.
told a lot of things.
Saying. Do you not notice this? I'm sorry, Ma. I'm just saying. Go ahead. Old soul.
I've been told that a lot.
Sorry,
Yeah.
hitchhiking across Canada.
So we started hitchhiking across Canada. I said, okay, when we get to Ontario, that's when I'm going to make amends with the old man. And I don't know how it's going to go, but we're going to go for it, and we're going to, all the eggs are in the basket and hope for the best.
Where did you decide that? Do you remember the day? Do you remember, I got to make this right? Oh, what the hell?
No, I don't remember the day, but I know that it was always, it was just a weight that was on my shoulder.
Before you left
always.
out west?
From 2014, from when we stopped talking.
So you knew that.
To 2016.
It took you that long to get the balls. Sorry, just saying.
No, yeah, well, I said, yeah, no, that's what I said. No,
Just saying.
it's not, no, because, like, that's what I mean. Like, you say that, but you don't know the whole story.
I know that, but
so
every situation has an excuse,
of course, so
right?
no, it's not, no, yes, excuse, yes, but you don't know the
No,
I
I don't, but we can take all the seeds out of stuff, right?
Not really.
There's reasons. I'm not demeaning why you didn't do it.
No,
I'm
but
just saying.
it's for why I didn't do it. It's not taking the balls or anything. I had the balls from day one. I was doing it to set a point. I wanted to set a point. And I can't.
You know I'm going to call you on that, right?
What?
It's not your place to set a point for anybody else.
Exactly, and that's where it took me time to get over that.
There we go.
Then
you got your balls. You just thought you had balls before that.
Like I say, there's a whole other backstory to this. There's a whole other backstory.
It's all
to
good,
this,
honey.
so.
I'm only teasing.
No,
you.
I know, but listeners don't know that.
You made your journey. No, you made your journey.
So
you made your journey.
So I'm getting there, and And oh yeah, I seen that look. I love it. No, I love it. I am all about this.
You made your journey. 2016, you came back.
So
That was part of your.
that was part
that
of
was
it.
the biggest part of it.
That was part of it.
So 14, you kind of knew that journey was coming. 16, you took a real. That was one of those land.
That was one
It
of
was
the
a landmark.
That was
part
a landmark. That
of
was
the
one
journey.
Exact. That big precursor to.
Because there's
to
crossroads and
Yes.
landmarks and hills and
Yeah.
valleys in our journey.
I would say that was a huge landmark for the person that I am now. If I hadn't have made that, then I would be nowhere near to where I am now.
Okay, now I have one more question.
What's
about
up?
that.
Shoot. I love your questions.
Once it finally came, once the opportunity, however it was staged, however it wasn't staged,
Yep.
whatever circumstance brought you to that,
Yeah.
I guess it's twofold. Was it as difficult as you had made it out in your mind for well over 2 years? Was it as difficult to do at
Like-
the instance of the reconciliation, or had you made you? So was it such a big instance in your world that it had to be that it was again? So I'm asking, was it as hard as you thought it was? And then once it was over, what was that result like?
No, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. I was.
Did it bring you the result you wanted?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Is it-
More so, yes.
Okay.
But it's
It's an evolution.
exactly. That's what
One
I'm trying.
step at a time.
Exactly.
There we go.
Exactly. That was the first step that needed to be taken on this road that we are both going down
Awesome.
now, as opposed to
Awesome.
where I was just going down it. Now we are both on this road together. I hope, and in that sense, it's been good. But no, I waited for so long because of things that has happened and the build up because of that. So I wanted to give
That's evolution in education, brother.
exactly
what it is.
another form of it, most
That's
definitely.
what it is.
And it wasn't until the end of that journey where I said, "Look, I'm gonna wait 50 years. There's no point on waiting anymore. I have to take action.
Hell.
I have to take action into my own hands."
Brother, when you hold bitterness and you hold hatred and you hold resentment and you hold anger and all of those negative, what we call negative emotions, that makes us sick. Man.
Oh, most definitely.
It makes us sick.
Oh, it's unreal.
And so when you can, and think about it, all of those energies are held in our belly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get digestion problems. When you feel somebody's punched you in the gut,
Yep.
when you've been betrayed,
Yep.
stabbed in the back. So think of those feelings think of the visuals that we give those feelings, right? I can't stomach it, right? Think of the visuals that we give those negative feelings to. So they're all right in here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all our consumables. That's all we expel energy. That's all our part of when we concentrate the energy in our body here, where we hold resentment, bitterness, anger, sadness, depression, like when we hold them,
It affects every part of your life.
we're expelling energy out of our body.
Yeah.
But when we take that energy and consciously focus it, consciously understand that it's better to have education than ignorance. It's better to have understanding than shame and blame. It's better to have love than animosity. Do you know? I don't know if love is the opposite of hate, but I can tell you that hate can be a debilitating, incredibly debilitating
Oh.
thing.
It's unreal.
And so even if you wash that with compassion, you know,
You might have to wash it a couple times.
yeah, I guess,
Right?
eh?
Yeah.
If you can change those emotions from the lower, that's why they're called lower or negative emotions.
Yep.
The lower part of who you consciously or physically are, where your awareness is, and bring those emotions. When you take them to your heart, you have to change them. When you take them and voice them, okay, so you voice anger and you voice hatred and you bring that into your mind and expel it through your thoughts and your minds and your mind's words, then you're spilling that energy out, right? So you're expelling it. But if you can use that energy and reverse it and flip that thought to compassion and empathy and kindness and love, it's proven now that we radiate those energies. We don't expel. We don't flush love. We radiate love. We radiate understanding.
We got the KWC clip in.
Good. How far do you think?
All of it. I think it just died.
And what about this one?
I don't know. It'll be wait to see. So yeah.
Ah.
So what I have been doing, I think I'm just gonna put all of this clips in for the podcast, just all as one. So
Awesome.
what I've been doing, if you've noticed listening, is there's some gaps maybe. That's because I've been getting up and resetting the camera in 20-minute segments to get the video aspect ready for my YouTube channel, just in
Awesome.
case anybody was wondering. But on what we were just talking with, energies and all of that.
Instead of expelling, radiating.
Yes, but it's very, very important to focus on what energy you want to radiate, because it makes such a vast difference on your body. So when
It does, yes.
when I did rebar work, construction work for probably coming on 7 years there. Absolutely hated it. Hated it. Was turning into a complete cranky asshole. So this is why I'm saying this in the terms of like energy and vibes and everything. Wasn't doing what I wanted to do in life. My job was giving me no success. My job was giving me no pleasure.
I got a question for you.
Hold on.
It
just
was a
let me-
physical job, though,
Physical
right?
Physical job.
You weren't physically fit, though, were you?
Oh, I was physically fit. Oh yeah.
I mean, were you healthy?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You were.
Oh yeah.
Because I find a lot of men that hate their job, even though they do physical
Well,
work,
just-
they're not healthy.
Just let me finish then.
Go ahead.
This'll be the end
Go
to your
ahead.
question there. So when I was doing that, we would work 8 to 12 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother lived with my mom at the time here for about 9 months. So we were going to the gym really, really steady. We were going for about 9 months. I put
So
on.
you're doing them both.
Sorry.
You were doing it both.
Work and the gym?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I would go to work, and then right after work, I would go to the gym, because it was the only thing that would kind of like break my shitty mood that I was in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because so anyway, work progressed on. Months went by. I stopped going to the gym. Work just kept on getting just worse and worse and worse. Bosses degrading, unfulfillment in life, unfulfillment in job, unfulfillment everywhere, unfulfillment just galore. So all of the work that I had put in at the gym, gone. So over, let's say, like 2 or 3 months, I had lost 40 pounds. My hair started turning gray. My skin was like turning like different colors. It was becoming wrinkly. Like I was aging in like I'm like, you put me in a vat of like crazy
Yep.
aging. Like it was unreal. It was absolutely unreal. My friends were looking at me and like, man, Adam, like I don't know
You're
what
not doing good, buddy.
you're,
What
you're,
up?
you're like, who are you, man? Like you're not this Adam that I know. And yeah, that's just all of that negative emotion and negative energy just festering, and just me not knowing and realizing what to do with it, and then just using it in the negative way. And it just made such a bad impact on my life. And so I'm saying, like,
So your mind was affecting your body.
oh, most definitely. And,
Oh, you
and
mean
it-
you create your world with your mind?
and at some points, vice versa too,
Just
because
saying.
because vice versa, because your subconscious is over 100 times more powerful than your conscious mind. Your conscious mind only you can only control 1 to 4% of your conscious thoughts. Your subconscious controls 91 to 98% of your thoughts. So even through things without even controlling them, daily activities, daily routines, daily rituals, that was ingraining.
Because you were miserable.
Exactly, and that was being ingrained in my subconscious without even me realizing it through my daily rituals. And yeah, once I realized that, and you start to break that little bit of sunshine that you can see coming through those shit clouds that you see, I will tell you, oh my Lanta, It is such a great
my
feeling.
Lanta.
Oh my Lanta.
Oh, my Lanta.
So the day, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. The day that I quit my job at where I was working doing construction, I handed in my 2-week notice. The manager came out because we were having a little bit of a meeting. He said, "Adam, can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah, sure. What's up, buddy? So you're done, are you?" "Yeah, I'm done." "All right, you can take your stuff and leave." That's the exact conversation that we had. No shaking of the hand, no nothing. So I got my stuff. I went around the table. I looked at all the
He
boys.
didn't ask you why?
Nothing. But I'm not going to
Anyway,
get into
go
it.
ahead.
Anyway, so I looked at all the boys. I said, "Boys, I am out of here. I am out of here." I looked at them all, big smile on my face, shook them all in, shook each one of their hands, left that door. I nearly tripped over my own 2 feet. I couldn't get out of there soon enough. So I worked with 2 of my best friends. One of my best friends, Cody Coughlin. If you're listening, what's up, buddy? What's up? Oh yeah, camera's not on. Here I am giving him a hi there. Oh yeah, so yeah. He followed me out, and I don't know if you've ever seen horses when they're let off of a work day, how they get their reins taken
Yeah, and
off,
and
they
they
do the
start to shake
galloping.
and jump,
Yeah,
yeah.
so my buddy comes over in the trailer, and that's exactly what I said to him. I'm like, "Buddy, you ever see when a horse gets let off for the work day? That's exactly how I feel." He's like, "Well, what do you mean, man? Like, what do you mean?" I'm like, "What do I mean? I'll show you what I mean." So I dropped down to the ground and I got on my back and I just started rolling around, just screaming and acting just like a complete
Free.
idiot. Free. Complete and utter freedom. I had no idea what I was going to do. I wasn't making any money. I had bills to pay. Did I give a flying fuck? No. I knew that I was free and that I was starting to look at happiness, and that feeling, oh my Lanta, if I could bottle that up and sell it to people, I'd be a billionaire.
I'm glad you did that, young.
To me, I'm late on the ball, but in all reality, I found it at a good time.
About 7 years ago, so I shared with you that I've always been a seeker. I've always been, I was in the church, in the ministry, in my young life. I've always had a hunger to know more, an understanding of something deeper, a gut instinct, you know. It was about 7 years ago where I was able to really free myself from expectations, or begin the walk in the freedom of expectations. I always felt like God was mad at me, that I didn't do what he wanted me to do. I would be punished. I didn't have probably a very healthy perception, even though I thought I had a healthy perception. I probably didn't have the healthiest perception of God. And now I even prefer, I have no issues. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. I love what I learned. I love the principles and knowing the truths of what Jesus's life stories and the happenings, the lessons that he taught us, the love, the walking in love that was him by example. Those things, I have no animosity towards my Christian brothers and sisters, but I've come to an understanding of God in me different than what I understood of God in me in the church. And I am a part of the Almighty. The Almighty is a part of me. It's an amazing kind of cool kind of concept.
Most definitely. And I see, before I would consider myself spiritual. I wouldn't say that. This was before pre 2014, pre 2016, I should say. I wouldn't consider myself that. I would acknowledge God, that he existed, but I would say that I'm spiritual and I acknowledge that there is something greater out there. But now I find
But
that...
you'd say, "Oh my God," wouldn't you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah,
I get a kick out of
I
people
know.
say, "I don't acknowledge God," and then they acknowledge God. I don't know.
Catch 22, right?
Yeah.
No, most definitely. So what... Now I'm completely, be born again. I don't consider myself Christian. I don't consider myself any label. I don't go to church. and I can and I
Whoa, but you okay? So you're gonna
well,
hear me now,
just,
brother.
Just hold on. Let me just finish
Finish,
this. Let me just
finish.
finish this thought before I forget it. So I don't go to church, and I still have a relationship with God, and I talk with Him daily, just like me and you are talking right now, out loud, like we are sitting down having a cup of water, right? And I think that I know so many people that go to church and that think that religion is always a finicky subject to bring up, and I don't like talking about it because people come at you in such a negative aspect when
Yeah,
I don't
it's just ignorance.
I don't understand why it should be in a place of, like we were just talking about, in a place of love and acceptance.
Right.
So if we can talk about that in a place of love and acceptance, then
Yeah,
I'm all about
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
But I find that I've over the last little bit I've been having to with the day and age of social media and everything, it's where it's hard to talk about your beliefs and your religion. I've been finding it hard where I've been getting over myself, and I've been getting better at it, of implementing God in my posting and my social media presence, because I don't. At first, I thought I would think that people aren't gonna reciprocate it, or aren't gonna do this, or aren't gonna do that, or they're not gonna follow me, and they're not gonna like that. But then, and the more I think about it, the more I don't care, because then I don't want those followers.
This is my
I
mindset
want
about
those.
that, Adam.
I want those people that are on that same page with
It blew me away and that's why I wanted to interrupt you.
Yeah, no.
Was because you used the words born again, and yet at the same time you don't consider yourself a Christian, which is the foundation of the Christian belief. So let's.
That's all wording.
So
though.
let's eat in that. Let's
Yeah.
chew on that
Yeah,
for
no,
a minute,
for
okay?
sure,
So
for
let's
sure.
chew on that. There is an experience that I see happening all over the world. I watch testimonies, for the lack of a better word. I know that's kind of a religious comment. But I've watched people's stories. There's an awakening, if you want to call it that.
Hardcore.
And there's a much like in the 1800s when the church revival, the first, the big revival of the church.
Yep.
But this one is more of an understanding of the global community. It was in the past, in our history, in our traditional Christian church, we didn't have the knowledge of the teachings of the other religions as clearly as we have now. We're a global community. The internet's done that. We know now about the faith of Buddha that was so beautiful and mirrored almost much of Christ's stories.
Most definitely.
So, with a little different spin.
Yep.
So,
for each culture, I find, in each religion, there's a lot of similarities.
This is what we're deculturalizing religion. This is because we are deculturalizing our communities. Does it make sense to you?
So what? Not really. I don't know what you're saying, really.
So in one culture, we drive on the left side of the road.
Yeah.
And on the other
So
culture, we drive on the right.
So you're saying the Western civilization is devaluing Christianity?
I don't think they're devaluing it. I think that they are able to see it. A primary piece of North America is able to see it with the same eyes as that they might be able to see Buddhism or Hinduism or.
For me, I don't follow anything. Buddha, Hindu, nothing.
But this is what I'm saying. But you use words like born again.
Yeah, but that's just wording.
Okay, so to you, tell me what born again is to you.
A new outlook.
Clean perspective, fresh.
Exactly. That's what it means. That is not. It has no
It has no implementation as the blood of Christ as the Christian church would believe.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, why I say.
But you see that, but there was an experience for you. Am I right? Where you could say, "Whoa, I was just born again. I have a completely different concept."
I would say it would be more of a couple different experiences.
Evolution.
Yeah.
But
and to be quite honest with you, the way that it came about, God came into my life saving me from a false prophet. And I truly believe that. And I can't.
Go into the. You don't need to, but I understand what you're saying.
I can't. I it's that's such a big story. I can't even delve
But
into
that's
it.
a pretty good way of condensing it. That you saw the truth when you knew that there was a mistruth being thrown in front of you. It was so
But the mistruth is what got me.
deceptive.
No, the mistruth is what got my eyes opened.
Right.
Yeah, and then
We're back around that circle
And
again.
then-
Negative brings positive.
exactly, and then at the time I didn't see it was negative. That's when I started just looking and researching and delving into everything. And that's what I mean. This is a whole other rabbit hole that we're going to be
Different
delving
life.
down to.
A different life.
No, I don't even mean in a different life because I still.
No,
Cause
your
I
life
still,
prior to is completely different.
Yes, but I mean, I still believe.
Conceptually.
I still believe the exact same things, though.
Do you?
You know, with what we're talking about here, yes.
No, you're talking about the born again experience. You're talking about walking in love and grace
On
and
that
understanding.
On that aspect, no, that's. I mean, not that I didn't
Right?
love
Am I right?
before, but
It's a different-
but it's a different kind now.
It's
But
a
I
different
mean, I
awareness.
mean on what has brought me to this awareness, and I don't mean God because that's a different thing in itself. I mean, the more so. Earthly circumstances that brought me around this.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's
Hey, man, birth, no matter what you think, and I know you're a young male, so you probably really never really experienced that action, but birth is traumatic.
oh hell yeah.
Traumatic.
Everything that has built me into the person that that I look back at too has been a traumatic experience.
Do you know, and sometimes those traumas are for those birthings.
Oh yeah, but you don't know
Right?
it until X amount of years down the line.
Until
right?
you're shot out and figure
Yeah.
out what the hell you're out
Right.
here for.
Oh, so I went through this amount of bullshit for that reason 15 years ago. Oh, it makes sense
So now I can stand on my own. I can eat on my own. I can think on my own. I
Yep.
can walk on my own. I can talk on my own.
And
I can grow on my
The
own.
great thing about travel, to get back onto that, is get out and travel. That is one of the best, if not the best way to start realizing and learning who you
Why?
are as a
Why?
person. Well, not even why.
Why,
It's just,
why for you?
It's just who you are and how strong you are, and
It pulled you out of your community.
Like with what happened with at
it made you
Cancun,
experience a different culture.
like that showed me like holy shit. I actually can figure shit out. I know what I'm doing. I have a brain on top of my head, right?
Even when I screw up.
Right? And little things like that give you such big self gratification. And then if you do that
For
over
yourself.
and over, yeah, self gratification. Yeah, and you do that over and over and over and over
Yeah.
and over, you're gonna have one big
Yeah,
snowball by the
good-
end of it.
Yeah,
right?
instead of the other direction.
Instead of the other direction. Yeah. So it's like I keep talking with my mom about this, and it actually started when we first met at the Halifax Forum about perception. Perception is such an interesting thing to look at, and with what I'm doing with my brand and everything like that, it got me thinking about it and just perception and how you perceive things,
Right.
no matter what it is it could be the make or break of it.
Isn't that what Gary Vee says? So, if those of you that don't know, we're both big followers of Gary Vee, and he is a social media guru. Made his family's wine company, multi-million-dollar company, and
3
he-
to 60 million in 5 years.
yeah, off of Google Ads when Google Ads was very
Yep.
new, and so he is a social media guru who follows. He hates that word. I kind of giggle at it.
It's a practitioner.
He's a social media practitioner.
Yeah.
He probably would appreciate that. An educator, an incredible educator, and has really great lessons about
The practicality of
not
life.
giving a frying flick about what
Exactly.
anybody else thinks. Finding your journey, prove them wrong when you have to, but just keep doing your own thing. Do you know?
No matter what age, that's just what he thinks. Oh, it doesn't matter if you're, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You're still alive on this earth. You have the obligation to shell out love and happiness. He says, if you have the power to convey your thoughts and your emotions in a way that it catches people's attention, you have to be very, very smart on how you do that. And if you are in the sense right now where you're positive and you love life and you just are in just this great mindset of abundance. It is your goddamn sorry, I can't say God. I can't say God. Look, see, I just caught myself.
Your universe damn decision.
Exactly. It's my Adam damn duty.
The Adam damn duty.
Exactly.
Yes, it is right here. The Adam damn duty. Live it out.
To start
He's got to
shelling
preach
out.
on, man. He's got to preach on.
When it happens, it happens. But yeah, no, if you
Can I hear a hallelujah?
if you are love and positivity, it's your right. Because there's so much negativity go on in this
really
world.
is
It's your right and
Her
obligation.
Adam damn duty.
Even though she's making fun of me for it, it's your
It is.
obligation.
Come on. We do have the power to change our world.
Hell yeah, we do. And other people's. But we can't.
That's the power of influence.
We can't change other people's if we don't change our own.
Right.
That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Well,
And you've really helped me be a part of that, you know.
oh, I'm so I am that
Thank
I
you.
love hearing things like
Thank
that.
you for
I love
being a
hearing
part of
things like
that. That's it's all in the journey. I really do appreciate you. I do appreciate that you have allowed me to walk into something I'm very ignorant about and feel like I can learn it, and know that it's not beyond my control. That I am the one that's shaping and building and growing and changing my world, even in the social media market. Because I do have a message. I do believe that we're here to encourage each other. That's why people say, well, why didn't you do KWC? Chose not to do the KWC because I want to be the cheerleader. I want to be the one to encourage you. I want to see you succeed. It stokes me up. I get torqued up when I see people do things that they didn't think last week they could do, and they're doing it this week. That torques me up.
Oh.
It gets me excited to know that we can empower one another. We can build one another up. We can make a difference even in the smallest things. So, yeah, that's why I'm a little bit of a positive energy pusher.
I would
you
say
know?
more than a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say a lot.
Yeah.
Well, who are you joking a little bit?
And I think that being educated about it instead of just being full of huff and puff, you know, people used to, I remember being in the church, and I was in the Pentecostal church, so they're very connected the way they feel about their faith. And you get teased about being a part of the Pentecostal church because we're the shouters, we're the jumpers, we're the singers, we're the hallelujahs.
You're the crazies.
Yeah, we're the ones that know how to sing, man,
Yeah.
and know how to rejoice and know how to praise and know how to celebrate. And I remember times that people even the Super Bowl, just went by. The people that color their faces, they rip their clothes off, they're screaming, they throw popcorn, they jump up and down and act like idiots. And to use your word, which is not a word I usually use, they are demonstrative lunatics for pigskin and competition.
Yep.
But when I look at my Christian brothers and sisters, and people judge them for that, my Pentecostal especially, Christian brothers and sisters who shout the glory down, who get excited about the joy they have in their hearts, who believe the message that they have. You know what? Lots of those people out there painting their faces for that football team lose. And they were wrong. And nobody condemns them for making the wrong decision on that football team that they cheer for.
Yep. Who are you to bring the joy away, take the joy away, or the happiness away from somebody, right?
From a Christian brother or sister who is loving, who's trying to do, he's trying.
Yep.
They're sitting there trying to learn the principles.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I know there's some people out there right now saying, listen, I know some Christians that don't even know how to try. I get it. But they're putting themselves in the influence.
Yep.
They're hearing that. It's going in.
The thing I don't like about, let's say categorizing and stuff like that is a lot of people that categorize themselves as, quote unquote Christian. You could use anything really. Let's say They say one thing and do another. They say that they follow God. They say that
But they're not generous. I hear you.
well, not even generous. They say that they do this, they do that. You know, they don't do hate and yada yada yada. But then they'll be the ones that are right there on the picket line spewing hate and
Or
all
not
of that,
gracious, or not
or
patient.
you know,
yeah.
whatever it is, right? So it's like you're not really practicing what you preach. So how are you going to categorize yourself as this when you're doing the complete opposite? So it's like, I don't really see, you know, like I said earlier, it's just wording, right? Your actions speak louder than words. So that's where for myself, I let my actions speak louder than my words, where what I do is what I believe. Just because I don't categorize myself, let's say, as a Christian, or let's say I don't go to church, my actions represent what I believe in and my faith. That's the way I look at it, I believe. Yeah.
I really try not to have judgment. I've sat in the pews and I've been there when you maybe wanted to be more than what you were yesterday, but you didn't manage it very well.
It's hard, isn't it?
And that's in and out of the pews, Accountability is a real hard
So
kind of.
when nobody's looking, that's when it matters the most. And
That's
when,
called integrity.
and that's when it's the hardest.
That's called integrity.
Yep. Yep.
Now, when you can get away with it, when it matters the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's keep going back to Gary Vee. I'm pretty sure he says social media hasn't changed anybody. Social media doesn't change anybody. It just puts a magnifying glass on them.
That's like any environment, though. Like if you're in an environment that is happy
Like a
and
pressure cooker
joyful and
environment.
loving,
Yeah.
right? And you can be in a happy pressure cooker.
Yep.
You can be right there in that pot, boiling away, loving every minute of where you are.
Yep.
Right? And that's what you're going to sow. That's what you're going to have. That's
For
what's
when
gonna
you're
come
in
back
that
to
moment,
you.
though.
But if you're in a pressure cooker of anguish, confusion, chaos, you're going to get that out of the pressure cooker.
Most definitely.
I've seen pressure cookers burn beef, cook it to, or
Yep.
or make jam,
Yep.
the most beautiful, sweetest thing.
Ruin a life or make a life, make it or break it kind of thing.
So it all depends on what kind of pressure cooker you're in and what's in the soup, buddy.
And the perspective.
What's in the soup
the
and where is
perspective
the power?
that you look at everything too, because you see some of the most successful people in this world, and they have come from nothing. Like look at Oprah. I don't know if you know anything about Oprah's story, but her story, where she got raped and
Yep.
passed around as a kid,
Yep.
and orphans and know this and know that, and just negative on negative. And look where she is now. And look at the power that she had to overcome because of that. Like, it just shows
We all have a journey.
situations don't define the person.
At the same time, I think sometimes that those people that were born maybe with a silver spoon or a little bit more fortunate, they're like screwed right out of the gate.
Kind of, yeah. No, most definitely.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's no
yeah.
big, because we
No
all love the
challenge.
drama.
Yeah.
We all love it. That's where we are, right? Like we're fed it on television. We're fed drama from the news. We're fed drama from our politics. We're fed drama. No wonder, this hypersensitivity and he didn't like me and she didn't like my likes and that.
Yep.
So there's this drama fed into us that we want to perpetuate.
Yeah.
If
I think humans themselves want to, maybe not want to, but subconsciously to gravitate towards negative. It's like watching a car crash, right? Like, you don't want to see, you don't want to watch a car crash because you probably know that there's going to be, dead people and stuff that's going to happen. But are you going to look away? No.
But some of us do.
Some of us do, yes, most definitely. And I shouldn't say that in a general sense.
But that's the thing is that you have a choice.
Exactly.
It's a choice. And we've talked about this all day. You can be 98% in and let that 2% nag the hell out of you
Snowball.
to the point that it becomes a distraction, or you can be 100% in. Forget about the judgment. Forget about the judgment of people from you and to you, and you of other people that you maybe don't understand or don't have the perception that they do, and focus yourself in on what makes you tick. You where you find value in you. And you can't fail then. You can't fail then if your opinion's the only one that matters to you. Because if you don't hold yourself accountable, you're the only one to blame.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger says, have goals, set goals. Otherwise, you're just going to be floating around with no direction, willy-nilly. Be defined, write down your stuff, and then that way you can actually... a ship without a captain. A ship without a captain is just going to float around, no direction, no anything, and it's the exact same thing. Have defined goals.
That's what a good horror story is made out of.
Right? Yeah. Right?
Right?
Yeah, Ghost Ship. Great movie. Go back to the 90s. Good times. But yeah, no, you definitely got to have your direction set. And that's where I struggled a little bit too, is where I knew these things that I wanted to do, but I didn't have a time frame or a direction set. So I'm just pretty well chasing my own tail, getting nowhere. You know, time would go by and I'm like, man, I thought I'd be here by now, but I'm not. I've been chasing the wrong thing, chasing money or chasing that, or just what people tell you think you should chase, and then it's you make the realization where it's like, oh well, yeah.
Well, you had to make that journey though, didn't you? Just say also when you traveled, you had to
Of
say,
course.
okay, I got to make this. I believe I want this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going after it. Okay, now I've done some of that. I think I'm going to modify my request.
Right? Yeah. Change. Waiter, excuse me. Hi there. Can I have a new order?
But you have a right to do that. If you didn't make those trips and traveling, would you be where you're at now?
Oh, Lord,
Would
no.
have you taken yourself
Yeah,
out
no.
of your community, out of your culture, and said, wait a minute, I can do this. And to bring it again full circle, out of the culture, for example, of the flea market, and bring your culture of social media to a market that is virtually untapped.
The funny thing is too is when I first started doing this is when my dream was that I thought that it was traveling the world and being adventurous Adam and all this is I postponed it. So I was living. I had my ticket to Mexico bought for 6 months. It was coming up my trip, and my head got involved. Oh well, I started listening to other people. Oh well, this is gonna happen, and Mexico's unsafe, and this and this and this, and what if this and what if that? Well, what if I ran out of money? What if I don't know how to speak Spanish? What if I get sick? What if I need medicine? Just going over everything. So I canceled the ticket. I canceled the ticket the first time.
98%.
Exactly. I canceled the ticket.
98%.
And so when I canceled the ticket, it said that I had a year to use the money in lieu for another flight. So that was always in the back of my mind. So it was like 8 months went by since I canceled that ticket.
So you had to press it.
And I'm like,
Had to press a button. It
I'm
was
like,
sitting there waiting.
if I don't do this,
Something will always come up in our lives and make you press the button.
if I don't do this, this ticket's gonna be gone. And it was only like $300 or $400. So I mean, it wasn't the fact that it was the money, but it was the fact that I already bought it and that I said that I was gonna do it, and I bitched out. I didn't have the balls like you said earlier, right?
I hear you.
My balls shrunk, and
You knew you were going to do it, but it took so long to get there.
right.
You
Not
knew
even
we were
that.
going to do it, but it,
I hope that I knew that I was gonna
Well,
do
shit,
it,
you bought a
right?
ticket.
Like I know, but just because
you took that action.
I did, and I just needed that other kick in the ass to get to that next step,
2%.
right? Exactly, that last 2%,
2%.
probably even less than that, actually. And so I just said, and I'm actually writing a book.
Do you
about
know
it.
how many people
I'm writing a
live?
book called "Fuck It," and that's the mentality that I've adopted.
Do you understand how many people get stuck in that 2%?
Oh yeah, it's analysis paralysis. It's deadly. It's that snowball effect.
It sucks.
It sucks. Oh, it sucks.
Thank you for being a part of my life that has forced me to get out of that.
Oh, thank you for coming on the show. I have anything I could do to help. You've helped me, so I can only hope that I could help you.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun in the next few months. I really believe it.
Oh,
I
we
think
have
that
some-
we've got some really cool things. I'm going to learn TikTok.
Oh, we've already been talking about
Gonna learn
that.
TikTok.
You're already on it. You gave
I'm
me
gonna
my
learn
idea
TikTok.
earlier, so you're already ahead of the game with that. You're gonna
And
kill
I
it.
do. It's important to me because I feel like there's so many people, not just me, but women I know, men I know, my generation, my network, that need to see, okay, man, if I can do it, I'm a so I can run a microphone, I can set up your gear, I can put your lights on, I can tune your guitar, I can do that stuff.
Come to a cell phone.
But
doody do.
so, and I believe not only me, but more people that have a greater education than me, people that have a bigger story to tell, people that have a more powerful message than I do, really need that. I got 4 or 5 people I would love to put in front of your microphone that you could help them build their story.
Yeah.
They could help you build your story, and generations that can cross, that can build community.
That's what I love
that
about
can
this.
bond and connect together. That'll give an opportunity for people that they can break open new horizons, new journeys, and that's growth, brother.
Oh, for sure, huge growth. And where we were talking about earlier with perception goes both ways. And we keep coming back on positive and negative and perception and social media. And social media can be great, or it can be a nasty, nasty thing. It's all on how you perceive it. Just recently, I just got goosebumps, actually. I just got in contact with another story that I can't get into contact with because it's so long. But through social media, I'm now helping a family down in Gambia. I have a family of 7 that I'm helping in Gambia now, and we have contacted through social media. So all on perspective on how you look at things, and just because, and I'm going to tie this into opportunities as well. So opportunities are going to present to them. Blah 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 blah. Hubla hubla hubla. My name is Adam, and this was Monkeying Around. Hi there. So opportunities are gonna
beep.
Yeah, right. Take two. Opportunities are gonna present themselves, and just because you don't, let's say, agree with this opportunity, or this opportunity might not align with where you're heading in your overall picture, don't shy away from it. God and life has presented you this opportunity for a reason. Hear this opportunity, this person, this perspective, this reason, whatever it is, listen to it, hear about it, ask a question or two. And what becomes of it might actually surprise you, because that's the exact thing that happened with this family in Gambia. I just got a message just saying, hi, how you doing, blah, 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 blah. Just started talking, and I'll go into it later on in another episode. But it didn't line up with anything that I had on the go. And my past self, my past Adam, would have been the person.
This is a scam!
Right? And probably wouldn't have even answered, right? But now Adam today looks at opportunities, looks at life, says things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And this young man messaging you here today happened for a reason. So I'm going to listen to him out. I'm going to let's see what this is all about.
Follow the journey.
I'm going to follow the journey. Exactly. The adventure is in the journey, not the destination. So it turned out that this guy is an amazing man. He is 18 years old. His father, unfortunately, passed away 5 years ago in a car crash, which has made him the caregiver for his family. His mom is sick and she can't work. And the strength that this kid has is just, it blows
so you're
my
building
mind.
a relationship with him?
Of course. I love this kid.
Cool. So you get to do videos and talk to each other that way, and
but it's just,
so he's like, he's a real person.
Oh, for sure.
That's beautiful.
I video called him, contacted him daily. He calls me Big Brother Papa Adam. And I call him Little Brother T. He calls me that because since he lost his father, he said when we were talking that at the same time he felt that I was his big brother and his father at the same time. So that's why he calls me that. So over the past little bit, I've actually started. How
many weeks have you been talking? Have you been talking more than that?
Just like a week or two. I just started a fundraiser, so I just raised $200, and I sent that over. So they just bought a 100-pound bag of rice, bought fruits and vegetables. His mom's not doing well, so he went out and bought medication for his mother, and that all happened through that interaction on social media, and just the way that it happened.
So now everybody my age
it just
is
opened
thinking,
my eyes.
Anybody that's listening to this my age, Adam, I'm going to tell you, these are the things that go through my mind, right? I'm an observer, right?
Yeah.
people in my age are going, okay, are you sure that young man's not being taken advantage of? Blah, 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 blah,
Of course.
right? Like this is what's going through my mind, right? And I know that your mom is wise enough that she would probably, kick
Okay,
up her heads on
I want to stop you right there. I want to
but-
stop you right there, and I want to say this. I am smart enough on my own.
No, I was
to
just
do
gonna.
this.
Can you let me finish?
I know. I just
You
want.
keep stopping me, man.
And you, hey, and this is this.
But
this is.
I know enough that you're a young man enough, because I was sitting here thinking about you being in the instance, right? That you're a young man, you're intelligent enough, but that is the difference, okay, between our cultures and our communities. This was my point, is that us as in an older generation,
Yes.
would say, okay, wait a minute, I need proof, I need proof, I need proof. You as a younger generation has already had the video, you've already had the conversation, you've already had that.
Let me stop
and
you
we
there.
would have never been there. We would have never went there with you.
Just wait. Let me stop you there. So, I am very big on faith. I am very big on belief. And no, we did not have videos beforehand. No, we did not have pictures beforehand. No, we did not have any of that beforehand.
Really?
Really, 100%. So literally, I'm going to tell you how this all came to be.
Okay, so now he's got to tell
No,
it,
yeah,
right?
no,
now you got to tell a story.
I know, I have to.
Go ahead,
now,
tell
so.
a story. We can actually make this a whole nother podcast.
Oh, well, no, it'll stay in this one. So, Instagram, this young man, has an Instagram. He uses. Well, people are going to be like, oh, well, how does he have an Instagram? He's poor and he does this. Well, let me just stop you right there. Stop judging and
This is what we're talking about.
Stop doing that and just start being positive. And I'll leave it at that. So he's borrowing a phone from a mentor of his. That is how he has his phone. And
They share everything.
They share everything exactly by the grace of God because they have nothing down there. So he has been just going through Instagram, finding people, liking posts. So he just came across my page.
out.
Exactly. He came across my page because my page.
He's reaching out.
Adam Sankey, ADAMMSANKEY, link in description. My page is all about positivity. Going outside your comfort zone, what we have been talking about this whole podcast. So he's seen my page and he said, just liked a bunch of my posts. I think he liked like 15 or 20 of my posts. So I wanted to show him some love. So I screenshotted his Instagram page, captioned his name, and threw him up in my stories and said, thanks for the love. His name is Poorboy90, Poorboy090. Go show him some love. He is an amazing man. Talaberry is his name. Little bro, the T if you're listening. Love you, bro. And so I gave him some love on my Instagram, hoping that some followers would go over and show him some love too. So after that, he sent me a message. Because I said, oh, thanks for the love, brother. Much appreciated. And he sent me a message saying, oh, no, man, much appreciated. Thank you. And from there on, we just started talking a little bit. So from then on, he just...
My generation calls that pen pals.
Yeah.
Just making relative.
We used to have pen pals.
Just making it relative.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And so we got talking. Not even very long. A couple messages were exchanged back and forth. Got me curious. I could tell that this young man had a very good head on his shoulders, or at least his acting was very good. So I wanted
perception thereof.
Exactly. So I wanted to dive into this a little bit more. So
you were curious and had to know.
Exactly. I like to dot my I's and cross my T's, and so that's what I did.
Put the science behind the faith.
Exactly. So when I tell you this, you'll understand. So I went to his Instagram page just to kind of see what he's been thrown out there for posts and how long he's had his Instagram page up and going. He's had it up for a little bit now. And I look at one of his most recent posts. And it was a post of him and his family. And in this picture, he's holding a sign. And it says, God help us. Please, we need help. Something along those lines. So I'm like, okay, So I scroll down and I look at the date that this photo was taken. And I'm like, okay, if that's a sign, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
It was your birthday.
You nailed it. You nailed it. January 14th. That post was posted on my birthday.
Your birthday.
So that's a sign. I took that as a sign.
Hardcore.
Hardcore. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is happening for a reason.
Signs are signs for a reason. They're not anything to some people, but they're like smack in the heads to others.
Oh, yeah, that was a smack in the head moment for me.
Okay, I'm listening through. I'm hearing you through.
So that happened, and I said, I got to do something for this kid. And so we continued talking, which just solidified my understanding of him even more. And just to set this straight, he did not ask me for anything. He did not ask me for money. He did not ask me for help. He did not ask me for anything.
He didn't ask.
Anything. He didn't
There you go.
ask
He didn't ask.
for anything. So that in itself said a lot.
Yes.
That speaks volumes to me. So, precursor a little bit ago, I seen a story. This man received a phone call from a scammer in Africa, and
I saw that same thing.
Yeah, so
instead of being rejected him, he asked him straight out, "Why are you doing this? Tell me what you need. Tell me how I can help you."
So he did that.
I heard that.
And his reason was he needed money. He needed to help his family. So he buddy that was getting scammed. He said, "Okay,
instead of meeting this with rejection and
I'm going to meet it with love and positive and affirmation and all that." And so he said, "Okay, so if you have a camera, go start taking some photos. Go start taking some pictures, and I'm going to see what I can do." So Buddy goes out just to see if he's serious about this. Buddy goes out. He starts taking some pictures. He sends Buddy back some pictures. They aren't good quality. They are garbage photos of nothing special, but it shows that he is serious.
He's serious. He's got a camera, and he's doing what the man asked him to do.
Exactly, which is key. So Buddy's seeing that, and he's like, okay, so I need to do something. So in his mind, he made an initial investment. He went out to Walmart. He bought a $50 camera. He shipped it all the way down to Africa and said, "Hey, listen here.
This is a better camera.
Here's a better camera. Here's some tips.
Take pictures.
Here's some things that you can do to make your photography better." So that's exactly what he did. He was getting photos back from him that were actually really good photos. Yeah. So he's like, "Man, like I've got to."
He started marketing him or something, didn't he?
He's got it. He said he sat there and he said, "I've got to do something where I can." He said, "What can I do to help better this man's life and to try and better his situation?" So he said, "I'm going to create a book through the pictures that he has created and that he has sended me." And I said, "That is such a great idea."
I saw that online.
Yeah, such a great idea, right? So I said, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Crazier things have been done with even more success than what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to put together that book through everything that Tala has been sending me through the pictures, and people can donate.
Makes him self-sufficient.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
For a very small investment.
For very small, and it's going to a good cause too. So that is in the works with that. That'll be done within the
I have a publishing company to get a hold of for you.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Canadian.
That's even better. I mean, I was going to do it online as well, but that adds another aspect.
But they might
too.
bite. It might be a part of their story.
You never know, right?
Just saying.
The answer is always no if you don't ask. I love it.
Okay, let's work on that.
So no, that's wicked. This podcast has been the longest podcast yet so far. I just want to thank you for coming on, Audra.
Thank you.
You're a ball of energy and positivity. And
I appreciate you, Adam. I really do. Thank you.
I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you. And we have tomorrow, if you are in the Halifax area, come on down. If you like the vibes of this podcast, put on a huge smile on your face. Get on down to Bears Lake at Clay West at
8 to 12.
8 to 12.
We're celebrating Ed Levick's birthday, and it is going to be a celebration. Ryan Roberts, Tony Trimper, Roxanne Roberts. I know I'm missing somebody, but myself, I'm going to be there. Jack's going to be there. We're really going to have a great celebration and lots of fun. Yeah, you should just come.
A great time.
Come.
It'll be a great precursor to KWC. If you're looking to get involved with that, come down there. Put some names to some faces. Get that smile on. And
you can ask us questions. We're both going to be there tomorrow.
Exactly. So
we'll
be
able to talk about videos. We're going to be able to talk about. I'll give you the scoop on some of the prizes and things like that. But I don't want to document anything until I've got it nailed down from the region.
Most definitely.
And so there's some pretty exciting things. So it starts March 8th. So get registered long before that. We'd be really happy if we knew. We've got quite a few now already. 12,
Beautiful.
14.
Oh.
different contestants already logged in for the regionals, and so I think it's $25, which is not very much at all
Super
to get
affordable.
involved in any other competition. You're not going to receive it anywhere else in the Maritimes, but through Nova Scotia, you're going to get some free coaching. You're going to get free video from Maple Monkey Media.
All of the video sponsorship, all of the coaching sponsorship. No other province is offering this. Only here in Halifax.
Yeah.
That through this program that we are offering. So it'd be something to take a look at.
I think it's because we're both cheerleaders.
Oh, most definitely.
I think that's what it is. Is because our
yeah.
nature is both cheerleaders and what we can do to encourage and lift other people up. I mean, for the $25 registration and the door cover, they can't get the product that you're about, that your video and my coaching and the coverage that KWC is going to give them.
And
you can't add it up. You can't buy that kind of of promotional
future brand
value,
brand awareness too.
Exactly.
Being promoted through my company, Maple Monkey Media.
Right.
Being promoted through
Log Cabin
Entertainment
Yep.
and Hospitality through KWC.
Right.
Through the different avenues.
Alley Cats in New Brunswick, who's heading this up. All of them.
Kinds of different stuff.
Yeah, Katie Day Reich. You know, you're gonna get. I'll have an indoor scoop with these people, and I'll have an opportunity to share that stuff that.
So for $25, there's a lot on the go. You could have the potential for getting logos designed, your different branding options, videos, pictures.
We should see if
coaching.
You can do T-shirts.
I can do T-shirts. I can do all kinds.
Okay. Now we're talking. Okay. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm really gonna shut up.
We just had a big breakthrough moment, I
Bing,
guess.
bing, bing, bing,
All
bing,
right.
Okay, now I'm thinking.
Big things in the works, eh? Big things. This podcast has been just super, super beneficial with lots of amazing information. Thank you for coming on, Audra.
Thank you for helping me work my business and put my business to work. I really appreciate it.
No worries. I can't wait. I'm super excited for everything we have down the pipeline. For everybody listening, do you have anything that you have on the go that you want to promote? I'm sure you have some stuff.
You can find the Cozy Cabin with the Heart of Gold on Airbnb. We do events, public, corporate, private events. If you are looking at weddings, family gatherings, if you have people coming from away and don't have the room in the city to house them, but still want them to have an opportunity to be amongst nature and in the most beautiful, in my opinion, piece of Nova Scotia. I want you to know we're less than an hour from the city, less than an hour from Toronto,
Toronto.
Truro. Well, you know what? We're only 25 minutes from. We're less than 25
airport.
minutes from the airport. So yeah, a
Technically,
couple of hours we're in Toronto.
Yeah.
Truro, less than an hour from Truro, less than an hour from the valley. A beautiful location for any of your events or retreat,
hiking,
motivation.
hunting, fishing,
We're
ATVs,
right on
snowmobiles.
Right now we're on
all kinds
ATV
of
trails,
good
and there's
stuff.
snow here. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of snow here, and we have facilities in economy as well. Log Cabin has facilities, obviously, in economy as well to help you with your snowmobiling,
Different
ATVing
stays
right now.
and
Yeah.
tips and tricks and
Yeah,
trails.
we got a
and
whirlpool, hot tub in economy that we don't have here. Just
Ooh,
saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
A little bit of R&R for you. Love it. So go check
yeah.
them out. Everything is going to be in the link in the description below. Muchly appreciate you guys checking out my company, Maple Monkey Media, and this is Adam Sankey signing off on the podcast here, Monkeying Around. It is muchly appreciated. If you like this content, every Friday I will be producing and uploading a podcast episode, so I invite you to hit that red subscribe button down below, follow along on all these adventures, business motivations, entrepreneurial mindsets, and just if you want to get in an
Nice.
overall positive mindset, follow along. Both me and Audra, you will not be disappointed. Audra has some TikTok videos coming up. She has some
So he
YouTube
tells
stuff
me.
coming up. I got her some stuff coming up. It's in the works.
I'm
It's
in
the works.
I will someday be a modern day mentor. Yes,
You'll get
I
there.
will.
You'll
I'm
get
learning.
there,
I'm
right?
learning.
One step in front of the other. One step in front of the other. I love it. So everybody listening out there, have an amazing day or night wherever you are listening in this world. Put those feet on that pavement. One step in front of the other will get you towards your goals. Shell out love, shell out positivity, and be the change that you want to see in this world. My name is Adam Sankey from here on the set of Monkeying Around. Until next time, take care, stay blessed, and stay loved.